Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
It's going well. Having a good evening. My wife brought home a huge tray of shrimp, so I'm full of shellfish this evening.
That's not a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah. No, I'm doing well. I had a good time hanging out on Mead earlier this evening. That was fun. I'm sure we'll come back to talk about green things flying at WNBA players. We'll talk about that as
I
well.
think it was actually purple today,
Oh,
but
it was
yes,
purple this evening. Yes, there was a new twist this evening, and that was
the
purple,
purple, yeah.
purple dildo.
That was a good twist. But yeah,
Like the
so
green and the purple, kind of complementary colors too. Those would work well together.
yeah. Well,
Well,
it's certainly making that WNBA thing more interesting than it's ever been. That's for sure.
yes, it is. And it's funny. There was a tweet post whatever earlier on X. Someone was saying, like, hey, here's the guy that got charged or whatever for throwing the green dildo at the game yesterday. Like, what should his sentence be? And I basically said, well, he's brought more viewers to a WNBA game than any of the players have. So pay the man what he's owed. That's what I say.
I mean, they said they caught him, and then there's more of them. I think that there's just it's become bigger than just one person. I think
Yeah.
now it's
Oh,
a
yes.
thing now.
Well, and they banned bringing bags into the game.
Didn't help
Into
them. I
all the games,
mean,
yeah, that you can't bring bags in. So they say, "Oh yeah, that's going to stop people from bringing from bringing dildos into the game." Well, guess what? You failed, and they could have asked a lot of people. There's other ways to smuggle a dildo into a game than putting it in a bag. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. It's gotten so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's like, hey, they they're actually getting viewership, so I'm not sure why they're upset.
It's only helping them.
Yeah, it's only helping. And the coaches out there
All
say,
my thumb
"Oh, this has
says.
happened to women for decades or centuries. Always over sexualized and stuff." I don't know. Did you see the video that was going, the edited video that was going around of her little speech?
I didn't see it, but all my thumb says it's a dildo movement. But no, we'll get to that. Uh, where's Rosa Parks? Yeah. Let's first of all start off. What did we even have on our list today? What's on the thumbnail? So the first thing is Trump, Vance, and Noem skewered by South Park. Did you
Oh
happen to
gosh.
catch that episode?
Yes, I did watch the episode. Yeah.
So the thing is, let me see. I think there was something I wanted to. Let's see if I can find this. JD Vance shared something today, which I thought was,
Yeah, I saw he had a little response to that. Yeah.
and you know what? I kind of appreciated the response.
Yes, yeah, his response was pretty good.
So you have.
Oh, yeah, it's now you're not sharing it. Presentation mode.
Oh, I'm not sharing it. Okay.
Yep.
It's good that we have Professor here to just be on top of all this technology. So
That's
if
me,
you
baby.
remember, I mean, I have to admit that the idea that Trump was like Ricardo Montalban and Vance was like Tattoo and Mar-a-Lago was kind of like Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island, yeah.
I thought that was kind of amusing.
That was clever. That was funny.
And
About
there's
the only clever thing in the episode, I'll be
right.
honest.
I mean, there were some lazy things in the episode too,
It
but
was
I
it
won't.
was damned lazy. It was one of the I had a hard time even paying attention. It was a pretty stupid episode. I didn't think it was particularly clever or interesting. So, yeah.
JD Vance says, "Well, I finally made it," and then you see "Welcome to Mar-a-Lago, South Park." It was rather funny. I mean, like this part. There's one part. I think that the only part that I kind of chuckled, like that I actually got a real laugh out of me this whole episode probably is for some reason I think Trump kicks JD Vance at some point. I don't know why he kicks him, and he just like kicks him out of the frame. And
Yeah.
I don't know that like got a laugh out of me. But that may have been the one point in the whole episode where I was like, it got like you know, a genuine laugh. The rest was like, yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of lazy. It's it's not that it's unwatchable, but I guess for somebody that knows, and I keep talking about this, that somebody that would watch South Park in the early days and how cutting edge it was, this and even the previous one with Trump felt very, very kind of lazy. The other thing that I thought was mildly amusing that Eric Hartman said that he was master debating. That was kind of funny. I think you know I think that there were moments of the Cartman Charlie Kirk thing that got a few chuckles out of me. Then this was the Mar-a-Lago being Fantasy Island and him kicking Vance. It was kind of funny. I think that they completely overdid the whole gnome with the dogs. Although the fact that Crypto Arise and she did it with that was mildly amusing, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I know there was some scandal with her with the dog. I don't really know much about what. Like, I don't remember now what the whole deal was with her.
Yeah, there was something in her in like memoirs or something that she wrote about having killed a dog. Uh,
I feel
but
like I
but
don't have
it's
the
not it's
context for
not
that.
like it's not like it's something that she does all the time, or advocates for all the time. Uh,
I mean,
uh,
generally, I think she probably shouldn't kill dogs, but that's just
Christy Noem, once governor of South Dakota, admitted in her memoir to shooting her 14-month-old hunting dog named Cricket because the dog was highly aggressive, untrainable, and destructive, having killed chickens and biting Noam herself. She described the experience as deeply unpleasant but necessary.
I mean, I if there was a way not to do that, I would have. It doesn't make me like especially like that aspect of her. It's not that I hear this and I love it. I don't really.
Hmm.
I never met that dog, but it doesn't sound great. But at the same time, I don't know. I understand why it could be a joke in the episode. I just felt like every second they did it, and it was already like at some point I thought, okay, you did it a number of times. The only part that like I said, that I thought it got a laugh out of me, that when it chuckle out of me, that when it was Crypto the dog, and that she shot him, that was mildly amusing. Like, I guess what I'm
Yeah.
saying is they could have leaned in on that joke, but once they do it like 70 times and something that just felt like it wouldn't end, I think that they stretched the joke out too thin. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Just my personal opinion, of course.
No,
It's
that's what
not.
I'm saying. I didn't particularly find this episode funny or uh amusing. Certainly wasn't very clever. There were just a couple of bits here and there that I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. Them showing up to Mar-a-Lago and that being like Fantasy Island, I thought that was
That
kind
was
of
a
funny.
highlight of the episode.
And then showing and then making fun of JD Vance's being tattoo. That was fine, and then the ridiculousness. I think it's obvious at this point the way they keep portraying it that yeah, that's not actually supposed to be Trump. It's supposed to be Saddam dressed up as Trump, and we're gonna find that out eventually.
We don't
But
know, really. We don't know that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it's going. But the whole ridiculous, it's just the episode was I just most of the episode I felt lost. I'm like, where are they going with this? Is there like, you know what I mean? A lot of times they're like they do little bits here and there, and or at least in the best episodes, little bits here and there, and then they all come back together to kind of make a big point at the end. And I just it didn't I didn't get that in Zozo. I felt it was kind of aimless. It was just a bunch of unrelated jokes. But I don't know. Some people really like that. I it didn't really do anything for me.
Didn't I say Ricardo Montalban? What did I say?
It's Montalban.
Oh, Ricardo Montalban. Sorry.
Montalban, yeah.
Eh, I
And his rich Corinthian leather.
I feel like I feel like I'm missing something. Rob Nutskula, don't talk to me or my son ever again. Have no idea. Guess you rated us? Who rated who?
Mhm.
I'm so confused as to what's going on here in the chat. But in any case, what was I going to say? So this part, the one thing that was kind of funny was this, and I think that it's nice that JD Vance has a sense of humor about it. I will say this that, and I've again, I like that South Park are known for ridiculing everybody, and nobody should be protected from satire, even it's very harsh and very aggressive. But the only thing that I'll agree is that over the past 4 years before Trump was elected, it's not like I think that they did a lot with Biden, which they certainly could have. There were certainly some jokes to be made there, and I feel like they steered away from that all the time. Whereas once Trump was in office, like they do it every second. Now I'm all for it, but I'm just saying at least do both sides. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
That's my only comment. That just like I like it when it's more of an equal opportunity thing. And I guess what I'm saying is they went easy on certain people and certain topics in recent years. Do you get what I'm saying?
yep.
That's just my opinion. But I actually think it was nice that JD Vance was a good sport about it. And with South Park, that's probably your best bet.
Yeah, and
If you start,
I think JD there's a lot to say about Trump and various, different personal failings of his. I think one is that he's not really good at having a laugh at himself, and at least not most of the time. He tends to get offended at things rather than just letting it go. And I think JD's got that type of sense of humor. Like like people are going to make fun of him, and he's going to be like, okay, sure, whatever. And he's going to move on and just laugh it off, or have a laugh at them at their expense or something instead of yeah getting all upset and offended.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I think this is always the best way to to handle stuff like this. Marla Cherndorf had an interesting comment. I'm trying to find it. Had a friend that did 16 voices for South Park. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to know. And Bishop Judas says JD Vance over Gavin Newsom.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom myself. Uh, I mean, even if you told me that there was a different governor that's a Democrat and not Newsom, I think that that would be. Although these days I don't even know if that's true, but for me, I just don't think that that guy is governor material. Like I've tried to explain this before, that this is a feeling that I have beyond all politics. It's if you and I are running a business now, and Gavin Newsom wants a job, then my feeling would be that we don't want to hire him.
Hmm.
Especially if it's something
Yeah.
where like some people have invested money and you need to be accountable for that money and he has to do something and be like a top executive. I wouldn't want him in my company.
Nope.
Even if
Yeah.
you and I were
No.
opening, I think I've said this before, like a hot dog stand. We bought a hot dog stand and we opened it and we're interviewing the people and Gavin Newsom comes up and he says, "Guys, I can sell your hot dogs." I don't want him there. I don't want him near our hot dogs, Professor.
No.
he,
No.
he ju-
Get away from my hot dog stand.
he
Get
has not convinced me. He has not convinced me that that does like the minimum to have a managerial job. And like I said, I've given you examples now of non-politics. And I'm not saying that from any political angle. I really I always say this, that I'm very kind of a middle of the road, kind of very moderate person, but Gavin Newsom wouldn't hire him for anything. Whatever business you tell me, the only thing I may hire him for, but even then I would be very kind of wary of him, is if I owned like a used car dealership, and I don't know, even that, maybe he's too much. Maybe he's too much as a used car salesman. Like he's too over the top. But that's something that is what, like, if you just asked me, "What do you think this guy would be good for?" That would probably be my guess, that he's a used car salesman. He looks the part.
Yeah.
Or if I was
The
casting a
slick back
movie,
hair.
it's the hair. Or if I was casting a movie and there was, like, a slippery governor that's doing, like, shady things, and I need an actor to you know, look like he's that's my guy. Then I am hiring him. Forget about all the hot dogs. I am hiring him on the spot. I believe 100% he's that dude. He's gonna win an Oscar. He's gonna win, like, sweep the Golden Globes as like the slippery governor in my show. That's the best. Anyhow, he says, "Oh, it would be hilarious if they went after Gavin Newsom." But that's what I think. There's so many people that can be ridiculed from all different parties and different things. I'm all for it. I think that they should go ahead and do it. But I think that it would be nice if they just cast a wider net, because they used to do that. It used to be that you could count on them, that they do cast a wider net. Uh, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I just hope they haven't. Like, it's so disappointing because these guys have always been kind of against the grain. For them
Mhm.
to sort of at the end be like that is kind of eh.
It feels very much like they're just going after the low-hanging fruit. That's all they've really been doing. Doesn't feel like they're being particularly clever or subversive.
No, it's like easy jokes. It's stuff that just people
Yeah.
talk about. They're just. I guess South Park for them now, it's just like, we got to make another episode. Okay, well, let's do this. We have 6 days to do it. What are people laughing at? Okay, let's do this. That's what these episodes feel like. And I mean, they themselves, obviously, in their age now, it's not the same as when they were in their 20s. But I've said this before. This whole idea that they started making episodes that can be ready within 6 days, sometimes it gives them the ability to comment on something that's happening right now very quickly, and I can appreciate that. But if you look at the earlier seasons, all those screenplays, or most of them, were more tightly written, because at the time they didn't have that 6 days and we're doing an episode. It took much longer to make an episode, and they actually sat and wrote screenplays. And sometimes maybe it had something somewhat topical that's relevant for that year or something, but they didn't feel the need to talk about yesterday's headline. If you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
First of all, they wanted to tell a satirical story and do some satire and be really funny. And then there was also, they threw that in there. And over time, I think that they kept improving the technology and what they have available and how they can do it. I just, from the part that they're like, we got to do it in a week, we got to do it in a week. I think that maybe initially in the earlier days that was still better, but over time, I think it took its toll on the show. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah. As they've started back with this season, it feels like they've lost some of the magic. So I don't know. Not saying that they can't have some better shows as
No,
the
I
season goes
think
on, but it's definitely felt like it's missing something.
I think that if they sit down now and they really put their heart into it, or they don't rush so much and they want to come up with something funny, I still think they can do it. I don't think that they've completely lost the ability to be funny. I can tell you, if you and I now watch the last few seasons, and start watching a few, like, just going through the episodes, I'm sure there's certain moments that I'm going to genuinely laugh. But the thing is that it used to be that I laugh all the time, and now maybe there's a few moments in the episode. Now I still enjoy laughing, so like I don't know, for whatever reason I'll cut them some slack, but I really miss the days where I was laughing all the time. That's all I'm saying. It's fine, nothing can last the way it does forever. It's like, no, if you're in a band and you're successful in your 20s, imagine what you're like in your 50s or whatever it is. It's not going to be the same thing. Considering the fact that they're older, they're probably around our ages. They're older and they have responsibilities, and they're not as hungry. They each have at least like $500 million net worth. It's not like their whole lives are relying on these episodes that they do. They're just doing something and putting it on the air. They have almost no incentive. At this point, you just get kind of lazy. But it is what it is. I actually hope you're right that it does end up being Saddam, because the fact that they just copied that character without really any explanation, and they're just continuing to do that, it feels rather lazy. The only way that maybe they can save face if it ends up being what you said.
It would be something. Yeah. I don't know. Guess we're just gonna have to see later on in the almost said semester. Because I've been working on all sorts of stuff, setting up my classes this week. Later on in the season, if they're able to do something a little bit
By the
with
way, the
that.
Dead Man wrote "I Saw the Sign." That's a song by Ace of Base.
Oh God.
I saw the sign. Ooh, na, 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 na. Saw the sign.
Oh.
It's not
Oh
not a
God,
very good song.
I hate Ace of Base. I hate
Well, okay. I mean, I'll put it this way. It's not music that I would listen to, and it's not like a band that I especially like. For whatever nostalgia, I mean, at least I remember, like, it reminds me of a summer vibe of like the 90s or whatever it is. So it has some value, maybe a nostalgia element. The only song, if you forced me to listen to one of their songs, which all of them are I don't do that, and they kind of annoy me, all of them. I think that All That She Wants is a little less annoying than I Saw the Signs. I Saw the Signs as like peak annoying Ace of Base for me.
Yeah. Well, there was when that album came out, I had a friend who listened to it nonstop. And it only took a few times of me sitting down because I was not interested in that music at all. And so then I sat down and was listen to it a bit with because he was around, and I was like, these are all the same song. Every one of these the same song with different words. It's the same beat. It's the same key. They're all the same song.
I mean, I must have told you the story that how they became famous, right? I'm sure
Yeah,
I told you.
I think we mentioned it before.
That basically, and I won't start the whole thing again, but basically, the reason why you know who Ace of Base are is because some producer, I think in Sweden or something, uh, he had like a tape cassette player in his car that was broken. He didn't know it was broken, and he had like a bunch of, how record labels get a bunch of cassettes. It used to be that way. You get or maybe A&R, divisions or whatever it is. There's a bunch of cassettes, or maybe he was a producer. Somebody, they met him somewhere. They saw him at an event and said, "Here's our cassette. You should listen to it." In any case, he puts the cassette in his car. He drives around. He listens to it, and he says, "This is the worst thing I've ever heard." And he presses the eject button to eject the cassette, and the eject button is broken. And now he's stuck with Ace of Base demos in his car, but he has a lot of work. So for 2 weeks, he's driving around with Ace of Base, the band that he wanted to just eject, but it's in his radio, and now he's remembering the songs. And the more he drives, he starts thinking of ideas, how if he had to produce it and make it a commercial success, what he would do. And because of all of this, Ace of Base exists. Without the cassette getting stuck, you would have never heard of that band.
All because some European producer didn't have a Blaupunkt
Didn't have one. No,
that
he
would
had
be
some
that would be more
crappy.
reliable than some crappy Some crappy brand of
I
tape
mean,
player.
but think to yourself think of like a lucky break. If you're Ace of Base, think that like in history, you know what I'm saying? Ju-
Your place in history was secured by a broken tape deck.
right, that's what
That's
I'm trying to say. That's kind of strange that the guy that actually ended up producing your music hated it and just wanted to get it out of his tape that was stuck is such a strange way to rise to the top.
it's
And yeah,
wild.
and actually, it's a true story that actually like that's the way Ace of Base were discovered. So until today, I feel like if they probably made a list of the top 10 craziest label signings or rise of artists or whatever it is, that would have to be one of the craziest one. And I think I've said before that I think Oasis is another one. That Oasis, I don't remember. This is so vague for me, but I think I told you that they ended up driving hours. They to some remote place. Maybe it was outside of England. Maybe it was in Scotland. I can't remember now. They drove somewhere hours to perform somewhere, and they performed in front of like two people, and one of them was a record executive. And until that moment, they were playing in their toilet bowl, and he just heard, and he's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." It's I don't know. That's what I remember vaguely about Oasis. Oasis, I don't know the details. I'm not sure 100%, but it's something like that. But still, the Ace of Base. That's probably the craziest one. Anyhow, the Dead Man. You certainly got a lot out of your
Got your
199
$1.99 worth. Yeah.
super chat. So, and somebody is saying here, Oasis had two good albums. Yeah, there was definitely Maybe and shoot, what was the other one? Morning Glory. What's your story? Morning Glory and definitely Maybe. I think that those were two good albums. Then you had. I'm trying to think of what it was called. It was the one that had "Do You Know What I Mean." That album was kind of a mess, but it wasn't complete crap. There were a few songs that I liked on it, but it wasn't, it's already a problem. And yeah, I guess they couldn't continue to ride that wave. I mean, to be honest, even though they're characters, and I really like any interview you see with those brothers is very, very entertaining. They're not the best band ever. They're just, they're one of the last kind of big rock bands that maybe existed, but at the same time, they're not the best rock band. They're just one of the last ones, if you understand what I mean.
Mhm.
Anyhow, I don't know how we got to all of this. We were talking about Trump with South Park and all that. I think we went over that. And then next, we do have it here, the WNBA crisis. It's on the thumbnail.
Mhm.
So wait, and that's our next topic. So we're right here.
Somebody before we move on, Elizabeth Quince had mentioned over on Rumble. We were talking about Christy Noem and the dog thing, whatever. And Elizabeth Quince had said Noem gets my empathy. Had bird dog regret not putting down. Spent thousands, and the trainer could not train him. Ran into the road, traumatizing my young nephew. Dogs can have bad DNA. Yep. I mean, the way she framed it in the book, from what I understand, was basically as, this was a very difficult decision that had to be made, and she made that decision and took care of it. Of course, a lot of people made that, made the connection there that, oh, you're cruel and evil and you killed a dog, and it's like, well, it's, I've heard people say, oh, you can't harm animals or whatever. I'm like, you know what? And if an animal attacks me, it's getting harmed. Period. I don't care if it's a dog. I don't care if it's somebody else's dog, if it's their pet. If it attacks me or if it attacks my kids, its life is forfeit. I mean, so we're talking about, she lived out on a farm in the country. If it was killing chickens, if it was attacking other animals, if it was attacking her, uh, well, sometimes you do what you have to do. So I agree with what you had to say there, Elizabeth Quince. It's like
I mean, I guess
sometimes there's
I don't have the
situations that have to be dealt with.
I don't have the full, context in the sense of does she have other options? Is that really the best option? I don't really know how it works, but
Yeah.
I understand that it was not a good dog. I understand what she's trying to say,
Yeah.
but if I was her, I actually probably wouldn't have written about that in my memoirs anyways. It's not I don't think it's a good look. But that's just
No,
my
it's
personal
it's not.
opinion.
It's not. Okay, so dildos.
Dildos. Gallagher brothers disliked one another. Bishop Judas, they did dislike one another, and
Oh, they did.
they had a rift where they didn't talk for many years, and they said they'd never perform. But some anniversary comes along of some album, and they were offered an obscene amount of money to do this tour. And the final thing is also part of the rift between them is it's not the only reason, but part of the rift is that I think that Liam called Noel his wife. He called her some bad names, but then Noel he divorced his wife. So I think that also led to an opportunity, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mhm. You
I
know who
suppo I suppose that once he was divorced and the guy he thought about the names that he called her, it didn't seem as important to him as before, if you know what I mean.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Eh,
yeah,
it's kinda funny because yes, those 2, Liam and Noel, they were at odds for a long time. They did not like each other, and, what's hilarious is that also there was another famous, set of Gallagher brothers that didn't like each other.
w
Gallagher the comedian.
really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Leo was the guy that traveled for years as Gallagher and did the sledge-o-matic routine and everything like that. And then eventually he decided that he was kind of having a hard time touring and everything like that. So his brother Ron started touring as Gallagher 2 and doing the same routine with the sledgehammer and all of that stuff. And then they had a huge legal fight. There was all sorts of stuff that happened between them. And the funny thing is, neither of them were ever really good comedians.
Well,
They they both
that's the
sucked.
funniest joke here, yeah.
Oh god, yeah, the whole thing was smashing watermelons with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh.
in any case, so wait, so where were we? So we did the South Park and Trump. Now we had the WNBA.
Yes.
It's a purple
Yes.
dildo. Let me see if I can
Well,
find the
here
video.
we there was a statement made by one of the coaches
Do you have it?
about the whole thing here. Yeah, I'll share it with let me can share this real quick. This one. Yep. All right. Here we go.
Throwing things onto the court. Obviously, you guys know what the object is. And I just want to comment on this has been going on for centuries. The sexualization of women. This is the latest version of that. And it's not funny. And it should not be the butt of jokes on any radio shows or in print or in any comments. The sexualization of women is what's used to hold women down. And this is no different. This is just its latest form. And we should write about it in that way. And these people that are doing this should be held accountable. And we're not the butt of the joke. They're the problem.
Yeah, it's absolutely not funny.
I think that she's making it worse somehow. This is one of those situations that the more you dwell on it, the more it's funny and more it becomes a thing. Uh,
It's
on
not
the
funny at all, Price. We should not be laughing. It's
on
really
the
just hurting women and
on the bright side, this is probably the most attention this league has ever gotten for
absolutely.
whatever reason. This is the most anybody has talked about the WNBA maybe ever. And I have a feeling I haven't seen the numbers of ratings and stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if there's more people watching just out of curiosity to see if a dildo is going to land.
Yes. In fact, that's what I've heard is that actually the WNBA ratings have been going up because people are now showing up to watch because they're waiting to see if there's going to be a dildo thrown on the court.
Let's see if
Mary
I can.
Mary White says, "Why green?" Well, it doesn't have to be green, as Price is about to show
Right
you.
today. I think it's. I like how this guy is like taking pictures of it. Let's see. Is there a better post picture of it anywhere?
I haven't seen any really good shots of it, so yeah. But apparently, it was purple this evening. The new one thrown out this evening was purple.
Okay. Okay. I wonder if it's actually. Is it a dildo though?
I don't think they would say it was
If it wasn't,
if it
yeah.
wasn't.
They're all saying that it's a dildo. I just with the green one, we had just a much better shot of it, and with this one, I feel like it's not. Of course, they did the George Bush thing. Sir, they've changed dildo colors to purple.
Oh, it's
This always is a
so
good meme for some reason.
yes, it is. The look on his face.
That's
The
like the
what?
best thing
The
George.
what? Look.
This is like this is like George W. Bush's legacy. This meme.
Oh man.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all very funny, and I guess people are like betting with each other on how
Oh
much.
yeah. No, there's a big big betting pool over. Excuse me. Over whether there will be a dildo thrown on the court and what color it's going to be. There's
Yeah, no,
more
people
betting.
are
There's
seriously
more
betting on it.
betting. There's more action on that than there has been actually the outcome of the games.
Nobody cares about the game. There's more people sitting around and betting
No.
about the dildo and watching to see if a dildo arrives. It's the wackiest thing, and I bet I bet the WNBA they don't even know how to reconcile all of this. That somebody will be like, "Hey, your ratings are going up. People want to see if there's a dildo." What do you say to something like
And
that?
I guess now there's somebody who's launching a cryptocurrency, a crypto meme coin called dildo.
I'm sure I thought that there would probably be 10 of these. Like, I'm surprised that it took them so long.
And then claiming that they're somehow that this is a promotional stunt that they're pulling, that they're paying people to go do this. I don't know. It's weird.
It's all very strange. I agree with you.
The over sexualization of women. They're preying on our sport. They're bringing more viewers to your sport than you've ever had. You know what? When we talked about this earlier this evening on Mead, our suggestion was simply to embrace it, start creating some WNBA or maybe team branded dildos, right? Fully licensed, products, and start selling those. You could have, just like the vendors are going around selling beer and peanuts and whatever, they could go around, they could sell those,
Yeah, but because it's a dildo, then they're going to really resist this thing. If they were thinking smart on a business level, they'd embrace it. But because that's not what's happening, they're probably not going to embrace it no matter what. The other thing is that, I mean, it seems like they were trying to stop people from bringing stuff into the stadium, but I guess it didn't work.
Didn't work. Funnily enough, there's other ways to smuggle in a dildo besides bringing a bag.
You can't keep a good dildo down. That's what you're trying to say. But yeah, Don't really know what to say about it. Interesting to see how it unfolds.
And they keep supposedly catching the people who are doing it, and then they're like, oh, we're going to charge them to the fullest extent of the law, and then they're going to do all this stuff, and then basically these people are folk heroes.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So it's
Let me see for a second. Okay, so now our next topic of discussion. I mean, unless you wanted to weigh in a little more on the dildos, but I think I don't know more what to say about it. As it's interesting and it's funny, but I don't really know what's going to happen from here.
yeah, and unless we're going to go towards creating some of our own branded dildos and selling those in a merch store, I don't think there's much else that we can do.
There should be the Night Owl dildos. I'm sure that people will be lining up for the Night Owl dildos. That's going to be a hot product. And yeah, I guess that was the dildo story.
The dildo sketch. Yeah.
On another note, though, something did happen today, which let me see if I can find the actual tweet.
Yeah.
And this is from earlier today. So you have Gina Carano. She says, I've come to an agreement with Disney at Lucasfilm, which I believe is the best outcome for all parties involved. I hope this brings some healing to the Force. I want to extend my deepest, most heartfelt gratitude to Elon Musk, a man I've never met, who did this good Samaritan deed for me in funding my lawsuit. Thank you, Mr. Musk and X, for backing my case and asking for nothing in return. To my lawyers at G. Sher Jaffe, who walked me through this unknown territory, thank you for your wisdom and guidance. I'm humbled and grateful to God for his love and grace in this outcome. I'd like to thank you all for unrelenting support throughout my life and career. You've been the heartbeat that kept my story alive. I hope to make you proud. I am excited to flip the page and move on to the next chapter. My desires remain in the arts, which is where I hope you will join me. Yes, I'm smiling from my heart to yours, Gina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a bit of a surprise today. I certainly wasn't expecting any sort of change or movement on this case. This has been going on. Goodness, when did this start, Price?
This has been going. Well, it's a good idea. I have to. It's been going on at least, I want to say, 2 years. When did this whole thing start? Gina,
Let me see. I'm looking it up here. Wrongful termination and discrimination case was filed against Disney and Lucasfilm in 2021.
Oh, even sooner. I thought.
No, that doesn't seem right. No,
it was fired in 2021. But
fired in 2021. No, it was. Yeah, I misread. Filed and fired.
She sued in 2024.
2024. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
February 2024. So it's been a year and a half ish.
I thought it was 2 years, but a year and a half seems about
18,
right.
About 18 months. Yep. So yeah, it looks like they have. There's a confidential settlement, so it doesn't sound like we are ever going to learn the vast majority of the details regarding this settlement. But it's been settled, which is hugely disappointing for a lot of us because the discovery was the thing most of us were looking forward to. We really wanted that discovery. I wanted all those emails, to be, public. I wanted all of those discussions that were had on various, different chat platforms, whatever. I wanted all of that stuff to go public. Discovery was the thing. I did want, Miss Carano to be made whole. I like Gina Carano. She seems like a really cool person. And I wanted her to be made whole in this case so that, because I do think, it was difficult to say she was wrongfully terminated. because technically just her contracts were not renewed. But she was essentially claiming that these contracts were offered to her. These contracts were going to happen, and then they were rescinded after sort of handshake offers for them to be there and
Here's what
various different discussions. And so I'm glad she's been made whole in this. I'm glad she's been taken care of, and her her lawyers were able to find something for her that was good enough for her to get that settlement, and that she's happy with what she got. But at the same time, man, oh, I really, really wanted this to move forward, and we know how badly Disney did not want Discovery to move forward. So, yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah, I guess what I was going to say is that I think that the reason she was in such a good position with this case wasn't just that they fired her, it was the way that they fired her. Now, if what they would have done is that they decide just quietly that they don't want to move forward with whatever spin-off she was supposed to lead, they just announce that they've reorganized the creative blueprint for what they want to do, and now they're making some changes. They're no longer moving forward with that show. Well, in that point, there's nothing much you could do. It's show business. That happens sometimes. um if for some reason they continued Mandalorian but they just never called her back to be in it, they're allowed to do that as well. They don't owe anybody anything. They could do that, and as long as they just make a decision, hey, we maybe we'll bring her in the future. We just didn't have something specifically for her now. She wasn't part of the story we were going for. You can always just bullshit your way out of it. The problem with Gina Carano is that they made that statement to the press that she was abhorrent or whatever it is, and then her agent, dumped her, and her management and everybody. She became persona non grata. Once they went and did that, and it was a statement from Lucasfilm, basically completely throwing her under the bus. Meanwhile, Pedro Pascal, their big star, is posting stuff that's much much more offensive, I think, than what she did. She posted something that, in my opinion, just my own humble opinion, I don't think that it was the best post. I personally would have expressed myself in a different way, and I think that maybe there was a way to even express something that probably wasn't the best post she could have posted ever. But at the same time, when you look at Pedro Pascal's feed and you see what he's posting, not any worse. He's much worse than anything that she's posted. And I say this objectively. Like, he wrote stuff. He would put all these, like, mustache man symbols, applying it to America. He's very vocal about a lot of really extreme stuff, and nobody says anything because he has the right politics. So if she were to move forward with a lawsuit, the whole lawsuit here would be that they discriminated against her specifically because she didn't have the opinions that they liked. And that becomes a problem in a workplace, especially because California had these kind of woke laws that were supposed to protect woke people. So if they have woke opinions, it was supposed to protect them. But Elon Musk brought lawyers that were basically about to use or trying to use this law against them. Because if you're allowed to have different opinions in a workplace, then why is her opinion not good?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying is that Disney really put themselves in a problematic situation. It had a lot to do also with Kathleen Kennedy and the toxic culture over at Lucasfilm. We've known very well what this toxic culture is. We know more than the average normie how shitty, sorry, Sean, those people are at Lucasfilm with their behavior. And I say that even about myself. Yeah, nobody said I was abhorrent or whatever, but I at the risk of being a broken record, I can't tie it to them. I don't know 100%. Based by the few interactions that I've had with people at Lucasfilm, even online, it wouldn't surprise me if part of the reason why my Twitter account continued to run into problems, it wouldn't shock me if that somehow had something to do with them. I can't say that 100%. I don't have the paper trail to 100% prove it, but I will say that those guys went to great lengths to try to make any criticism that was leveled against them not legitimate. And whoever was making that criticism, they didn't care. YouTubers, people on Twitter, an actress that says something they don't like, It's very much first of all, there was cancel culture in our culture to begin, which was bad. But at Lucasfilm specifically, the amount of annoying activists working in that company, they're not just ruining Star Wars. That's one of the things that they're doing in their spare time. But in addition to that, the amount of crazy stuff they did there is a big problem. And I'll just say this. I am happy for Gina Carano. I assume that they offered her an insane amount of money. An insane amount of money. And the reason why is because they never wanted those emails to be in Discovery. If they had to
No,
sit, if
never.
if they had to sit with thousands of emails of what goes on in Lucasfilm and people sitting on the stand and reading those, that would have been a disaster, a complete PR disaster, which is why I believe also with the backing of Elon Musk's fancy lawyers, which he was bankrolling, I feel like they ended up having to pay her a lot of money. I can't tell you an amount. If you told me, hey, they have to pay her $100 million, I would believe it. I honestly would believe it. I can't tell you for sure. Maybe they paid her less. Maybe they paid her more. But if you told me that they paid her $100 million, I'd be like, oh, I can't believe it. I would 100% believe it. What do you think? What do you think they paid her, if you had to guess, Professor? Oh, Professor is gone. I don't know if I'm gone or the Professor is gone, but yeah, Yidis, I hope it was FU money as well. I think that she shouldn't have. I mean, I can't tell her what to do, but I'm saying I really hope that it was a minimum of like $100 million, because all I can say is if I'm in that situation, I try to go for something like that. Professor, do you think that I could be just saying some stupid number, but do you think $100 million is realistic?
I have no clue, but I mean, that would be. I can't say I would be surprised if that were the amount of the settlement. That to Disney, that would not be a lot of money, and certainly to them, that would not be the kind of money that would be a problem when you consider the damage that would be done to their brand if they went through Discovery, right? If they went through Discovery and they went through having to, the other thing was it wasn't just going to be, oh, look at all these emails. Oh, look at all of these other things, right? It was also going to be, oh, who are they going to call to the stand? Right? Once it got to the, to actual trial, to, actually into the courtroom, uh, are they going to call Pedro? Are they going to call KK? Are they going to call, you know, any number of other people, Jeremy Renner, or any, who are they going to call? Right? From all of these, other, all these stars, these big people, who are they going to drag into the courtroom so they can ask them about the tweets that it was totally cool if they, if they tweeted about, really political stuff or whatever, or what kind of things did they hear around the studio, or what kind of directives were they given by KK? All of that stuff was going to be a huge mess for Disney. So yeah, Elizabeth Quinn says 50. Other people say 100. Whatever. I don't know. I'll tell you this much. When you put together all the fees and everything for all of their all the lawyers and what they paid her and what they had to pay their own lawyers, yeah, this was probably extremely expensive for them. So 100 million maybe total out of everything, even if Gina didn't see that much directly, I think would definitely be within reason. But yeah, no, as far as I know, what this sounds like is this is a confidential settlement. She will not be allowed to talk about it. Disney's not going to talk about it. Lawyers aren't going to talk about it. So we will likely never know exactly what that number was. But I hope that it's the kind of money that's going to set her up for a really long time. So if you read the quotes, from Disney and from what they had to say, Disney says we want to work with her again, or we're looking forward to working with her again, or whatever. Uh, I think that's complete BS. I don't know about you, Price, but I don't think there is a snowball's chance in hell that while KK is there, that Gina is ever going to be invited to come back and work on a Star Wars project. Uh, maybe Marvel, somewhere, maybe something else. I don't know, but not Disney. Not while KK's there, or not. Excuse me, not Star Wars. Not while KK is still around. So it all seems rather disingenuous. The lawyer speak in the actual announcement is pretty thick. The way that things are actually talked about, the way that they word things, like we look forward to working with her. We look forward to identifying opportunities to work together in the future. Ah, yeah, right.
I mean, let's put it this way. Like you said, as long as Kathleen Kennedy is there, I don't think that that's going to happen. But if uh, if at some point she's not there, or I don't know what it is, you never know. I mean, John Favreau. I don't think that John Favreau ever had an issue with her. I
Oh no,
know
no.
that. I don't think he wanted her fired. I don't think he had an issue with her. I think this came a lot from Kathleen Kennedy, from the likes of Kathleen Kennedy and Pablo Hidalgo, my opinion, of course, and a few other people that were there. I I actually did a really cool investigation, part one and part two, into that whole situation with Gina Carano, and part three I never even did because it took me so long to make those videos and nobody seemed to enjoy them. So I just I thought that more people would like them, and I feel like nobody cared about them, so I didn't. Some of my best work ever is those videos that I do the investigation into Gina Carano, part one and two. Some of my best work, but it's fine. Sometimes it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I
Gosh, I
was.
was looking for the actual statement somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Yeah, okay, here. So, the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co stars, and staff, and she worked hard to protect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. So, yeah. Uh, what does that say? Worked well, respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff. Doesn't say anything about producers. It doesn't say anything about the heads of the studio, executives, right? Nope, just respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff. So yeah, they made sure there were no apologies in there from KK. Tell you that.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, I understand the whole situation, but it's on one hand, I understand what happened on one hand, and I understand why she did what she did, and I understand why she settled. It would have There's also a part of me that thinks that it would have been so pleasant to see all those emails exposed, but
Oh, it would have been incredible
and
for all of that stuff to get exposed. Yeah.
and again, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and I don't know what goes on in the mind of Gina Carano. It's also not really my business because at the end it's her life and it's her lawsuit. I would think that if somebody came and said, "Hey, do you want $1 million?" I don't think she'd take it. I think that the kind of money that was thrown at her must be something that it's like, okay, it had to have been a really serious amount, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh, I'm certain. I'm absolutely certain it did have to be a very, very considerable amount for them. Remember that she wasn't paying for the lawyers, so that wasn't going to be part of it for her. Obviously, for Elon Musk and for the law firm or whatever, yeah, getting their costs covered was important. But yeah, she wanted her reputation restored. and she wanted Disney to admit some kind of wrongdoing in having ended her contract in the manner that they did after putting her through basically psychological torture, through these ridiculous struggle sessions and crap that she was asked to do, and then terminating her contract and everything. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd the way that she was treated. And so, yes, I'm certain this was a pretty solid settlement for her. I hope it was real good money. I hope she's going to be taken care of for a long time. And yes, Discovery would have been amazing. It would have been, a field day for for YouTubers, for people like us, onlookers who would love to just see all of that, dig through all that stuff. But yeah, I hope it was some solid money for her. I hope she feels restored in what this settlement was. And if she does get to come back to Star Wars, okay. But Disney Star Wars is dead.
Right.
It's nowhere near the place that it was when she was, dismissed back in 2021. It's been pretty well and truly buried by all the other garbage that they've done. It's too late. I would imagine it's too late to squeeze her in somewhere into the Mandalorian and Grogu film, and that's going to be a huge flop anyway. And I mean, what are they're gonna put her in Ahsoka season 2? No one's gonna watch that anyway. So it's not like being brought back into Star Wars would actually matter. But yeah, she wants to get her career back on track. She wants to put this behind her. I think when you think about it, right? Yes, while Discovery would have been amazing, dealing with lawsuits like this, man, it's tiring. It's exhausting to have to think about this all the time. I've never had to be involved with anything like this myself. I've known people who have. I've even recently I've been following the lawsuit with Smash JT and everything that's been going on there. And it's so exhausting. It's like it consumes so much of your life, even when it's not something that's like, you're not like actually sitting down with your lawyer dealing with it. There's stuff just kind of consuming you as you go through it. So I'm certain that there was also a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety around what was happening here, and they made sure to they made some kind of offer that was significant enough that the lawyers were happy with it, she was happy with it, Disney was okay with it. And again, I think Disney probably would have done just about anything to avoid having to get into Discovery and have executives and stars and stuff having to go into court. So yeah, I mean, hell, I don't think $100 million settlement would be out of the question. So yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I think so. I I kind of think that's the minimum because if you remember that when they had something with Scarlett Johansson, they ended up paying her like $50 million. I think that Scarlett Johansson is one thing, but this thing that could be such a major, major disaster, the PR nightmare that this would have been for Disney. I mean, it already wasn't good to begin with, but if this would have been with the emails and Discovery, that would have been really, really bad for them. They
Yep.
tried everything to get it thrown out and to get everything dismissed and all that. And when they saw that that wasn't working, I feel like at that point, they reached a point at the end where they understood where soon everybody is going to want to see all their emails. And I feel like at that point, they walked in and started offering really big money. That's my guess.
Yeah. The settlement with Scarlett Johansson was believed to be around $43 million. Yep. So that, of course, that was a very different type of lawsuit, but yeah, that was the settlement that they reached there. Hmm. Well, I'm like I said, I'm glad for Gina. I'm happy for her be able to put this behind her. Maybe maybe move forward with her career. I don't know how much this is going to change things. I seriously doubt she's going to be hired back to work at Disney for any reason. But who knows? Who knows?
You never know.
Yep. Yep.
But it's okay. I mean, listen, if nothing else, this may not be a win where they, say that Disney lost and she won, but I think that under the circumstances and how they wanted to get rid of her, and even the type of statement that they have to make now, saying that she was always respected by her peers and the directors and all this stuff, it is as close as you're going to get to an admission of wrongdoing. And I think that if I were Gina, I would be pretty happy now. And again, I suspect this is a lot of money. I could be wrong. I suspect that this is a serious amount of money. And if that's the case, and Gina Carano now has so much money that she never has to think about anything money related in her life, well, good for her.
Yeah. Actually, she didn't come from a, particularly poor background either. Her family
No,
was fairly
I don't think
wealthy.
she didn't come from a poor background, to begin with, but all the more reason why I think that she wouldn't have just jumped on, "Oh, here, we're offering you $20. Do you want it?" I think that in order for her to accept this, I think that they needed to really do something really big.
Yeah.
The thing is also, I know her family has something to do with, money making, but I don't know exactly where she, you know I don't know that her parents were the ones that made all that money, if it's no more of a family thing that involves other family members. I don't know how much of it trickled down to her. I say this honestly because I just don't know. I don't know enough about her personally, so I can't really say. But whatever the reason is, whatever the thing is, obviously, even after they tried to get rid of her, she went to all these conventions. She would continue to work all the time in any place that would have her speak or sign autographs or do anything. She's constantly been doing that since
Yeah.
since 2021.
So, her family
Okay.
is indeed quite wealthy. Their fortune is centered in the casino and entertainment industries. Is specifically in Nevada with the El Dorado Resorts and Caesars Entertainment. Gina's grandfather, Don Carano, that doesn't sound at all suspicious. Casinos and somebody guy named Don founded El Dorado Resorts, and their family's stake in that business is estimated at around $725 million. And Gina Carano herself has a net worth of around 4 million. So maybe that's gone up substantially in the last 24 hours. Let's hope. But yes, her family is pretty wealthy.
There's no way that this is like a $4 million settlement. This is a
Oh,
big
no, no,
time
no.
settlement. This is a
Yeah.
big time settlement.
This is big, big, big. Yeah.
I'm guessing that for me, I could be wrong. I'm guessing minimum $100 million. It could be crazy. All I can do is, and I'm trying to put myself, if I'm quantum leaping into Gina Carano now, and especially if I have 4 million in my bank and my family is not poor, if what you're saying is correct, I am not jumping on the first offer anybody gives me. And the fact that this took a number of years now in courts where they kept on trying to get things dismissed, there was a game plan. They tried to get it dismissed every second because if it's dismissed, they don't have to pay anything. And it looks like they did everything great. It didn't work for them. They lost at every turn. Every time that there was something, they lost. Every motion that they filed was denied. Like every single thing didn't work for them because at the end of the day, first of all, Elon Musk is not poor himself and he got really good lawyers. But at the same time, regardless of the good lawyers, I think that there was a good case here because if you compared how they treated her and what they did publicly versus, let's say, a Pedro Pascal, a Mark Ruffalo, a Mark Hamill, when you contrast and compare it to those guys, I think that her case was very strong. And a lot of people, there were a lot of people at the time when this thing broke, and they said, "Oh, she doesn't have a good case. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have that." And I said, "No, I think she does have a good case. I think that this is a major nightmare for Disney, and I think that she has a good case. And the fact that they had to settle and they had to do this whole thing at the end shows that they did have a good case, in my opinion."
Yep. Yep. Well, her and What's her boyfriend's name? The kickboxer, Muay Thai guy.
I
Kevin.
don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, maybe they can kick back and
I'm sure they have
enjoy their
nothing to
life.
worry about. She
Enjoy
has
their life
nothing.
together.
This lady has nothing to worry about from now
Kevin
until
Ross. Kevin Ross, that's his name. Yeah,
I
he's a
see.
Muay Thai kickboxing
But
martial artist. Yep.
and like I said, just to sum up, if I'm in her shoes, if I have $4 million in the bank and all this stuff is happening, and I come from a family that has money or whatever it is that you're talking about, there is no way, I'm settling. Like I would really want to see them sweating. Like I'd want to, even at the end, like you said, even with all the money they paid her, I don't know how much they sweat. I think that this was worth even more than 100 million, really. I think that that's something that you probably agree to. But if you ask me, for Disney, the amount of damage this could do to their stock, to their whole PR, to everything. Imagine now that you continue to have this trial with all these emails, and this thing becomes the news every second. That's what everybody's talking about. It becomes like a Johnny Depp Amber Heard type of coverage, where you're just talking about this trial all the time. This would not have been a good look for Disney.
No, this would have been very, very bad for Disney. Absolutely no
And they
question.
knew it, and they absolutely knew it. That's why they were trying to get rid of it all the time, and it didn't work for them. I feel like at the end, when all of their things didn't work, they were genuinely stressed. They genuinely, at that point, had to pull something that's very, very good and offer it to her. And I wonder, having somebody like those Elon Musk lawyers, how much they ended up squeezing. Because sometimes, like I told you, sometimes if it's a person that's like down on their luck and has like a Saul Goodman type of lawyer, maybe they take some settlement and walk away, whatever that is. At some point, somebody would offer them 10, 20 million, 30 million. But once you have like backing of Elon Musk, and you're not short on cash, I feel like that's a really good position to squeeze a lot out of them. Just saying.
Hmm. Yeah.
But that's my personal opinion. I don't know anything. What do I know?
Yep.
Uh, Now, let's think what else is going on. Tim Hayes is
Mm,
here. Yeah.
yeah. Keely
Well,
Chow just popped into the chat over on YouTube. Hey there, Keely.
nice to see you here. And then let's see what else. What else was on our agenda today? Such an important agenda. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching this on YouTube or on Rumble or wherever you're watching, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, get notifications so you always know when we're streaming. And so we had Trump, Vance, and Noem skewered by South Park. WNBA crisis continues. We talked about Gina Carano. There were a few other things. I think that maybe what else? There was something else that I forgot about.
The Nintendo thing.
We'll get to the Nintendo thing. I
Yeah.
actually saw a movie today.
Oh, you saw a movie? Awesome. What'd you see today?
I saw a movie called Weapons.
Oh, yes. That's one that's gotten a lot of publicity recently. I've seen a number of ads for that. So, yeah. What?
Okay, so let me I'm not going to do spoilers because I don't want to ruin it. It's the type of movie that if I do spoilers, then I guess I'm ruining it.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No
Yeah, this
spoilers.
sounds
I'm
like the
not
kind
going
of
to do
thing
I'm
that would
not going to do
have a big twist, at
no,
the
yeah,
end or
let me
something. Yeah.
you know what, I'm going to put a banner up. And that's just some of the technology that we provide here. Price of Reason Studios. Weapons spoiler free review. Do I say no spoiler or spoiler free? What
You say spoiler-free review. Yeah.
spoiler free review? Okay. Weapons spoiler free review, and then I'll do the thing where it moves. Okay.
There we go.
This is like
That
this
that
is cutting edge,
this is peak, man. This is
state of the art technology
absolutely
right
amazing. Yeah.
here at Price of Reason Studios. I know Tim Hayes is impressed. Uh, in any case, so basically, usually when you have this kind of thing that it says 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's usually not a good sign. And that the popcorn, I don't trust this site at all. I don't trust anything that they have to say. But I went to see this movie and I still don't trust what they say. I think, I don't know. 97 is a score that you give The Godfather, maybe. Like Godfather 1 or 2 should be in the upper 90s. As much as this movie would be good or bad, I don't think it's that kind of movie. But I will say this, I went to see the movie and I went in not really reading much about it. I just heard a few things about it. First of all, there's a guy called Hannibal Grimm. He actually recommended it to me. But also earlier today, I know that I was already contemplating going and I was planning on doing it, but then I was on a stream with Erwin of Nerd Wars and with Angry Badger, and Angry Badger said that he heard good things and he was going to go see it. So, well, at that point, I'd have to go see it. It can't be that just Badger will watch it and I won't, so I obviously had to do it. But in any case, uh, let me see.
You chose that over Freaky or Friday?
You know what? I thought Freakier Friday would be a funny review, but I decided that I'll go with what's seemingly the better movie because I'm sure
Yeah.
that Freakier Friday is going to be a dumpster fire. But I ended up going to this one, and I went. It started off like I was wary to begin with. I started off in a way that I was already kind of suspicious because like the movie starts and there's some like narration like some child is doing like voiceover narration, which kind of I didn't really like, and I'm like, oh, this movie is going to be annoying. And then it starts off, and in the early moments it's a little slow, and I thought, oh, this is going to be so annoying. But then suddenly it kind of actually it starts picking up and starts moving in some interesting, rather interesting direction. Then at some point in the movie, after maybe 30 minutes or I don't know what it is, it turns out that the movie is starting to kind of jump. This isn't a spoiler, jump from the point of view of different people. And I can't really explain it, but you're seeing things from the point of view of different people. And I'm like, oh man, now that they're doing this movie is probably going to fall off a cliff. And it didn't. It didn't fall off a cliff. And by the time I reached the end of it, I thought to myself, you know what? This was a competently made horror mystery thriller. It was. It was a competently made movie. Now,
Nice.
is it a Godfather level movie? No, it's not a 97 or a 90 for me. I feel like when I walked out of it, I had a similar sentiment to when I walked out of that F1 movie with Brad Pitt. When I walked out of the Brad Pitt movie, I said to myself, "This is not a breaking movie. It doesn't reinvent anything, but it's solid. It's well made for whatever it's supposed to be." And I probably would have, given that movie at least a decent score, not like like I'm not giving it 90s, but at least it could be something decent. And I still have to think about it because I still have to write a review for this one, how much exactly I would give it as a score. But this is I would say that this is a very decent movie for whatever it is.
Wow. Very nice. Yeah, the sort of the horror genre has not been performing very well in recent months. A lot of their releases have been pretty lackluster. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of horror fans out there happy to know that there's going to be a solid film out there. So the I don't again no spoilers, but so the plot of this I'm trying to remember because I know I saw the trailer of this. It sounds like it was about a bunch of kids.
Something I think this isn't ruining anything. There's something, and this you find it out in the first like 60 seconds
Yeah,
of the movie. It's a town, and the child narrator explains it. Basically, it's a town where some children disappeared in some strange way, and they're all trying to figure out what happened to these kids and why they disappeared. The thing is that you have different people in the town doing different things. Julia Garner plays a teacher in that town. The guy Alden Ehrenreich, whatever his name is, that was Solo. He plays a police officer. I feel bad for that actor because Disney didn't do him any favors. He's not a terrible character actor. It's just he's been given such shitty roles. Sorry, Sean, by Disney that probably didn't help his career. But I actually thought he was decent in this movie. It has Josh Brolin, who's sort of a father of one of the kids looking for the kids or whatever it is. Thought he was good too. The best part of this movie is I don't know which role. One of the main roles was supposed to go to Pedro Pascal, but because of Fantastic Four and some schedules moving around, Pedro Pascal had to bail out of the movie. It's the only movie he ever bailed out of, and they had to recast him. And that's the best thing. Imagine this month 4 movies would have come out starring Pedro Pascal. And trust me, I don't know if it was the Brolin role, if it was the other role, the Alden Ehrenreich role. I would not want to see Pedro Pascal in this movie at all. So I'm happy. It was probably the Brolin role, in my opinion. But in any case, I much prefer Josh Brolin over Pedro Pascal. So I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. And I'm trying to think for a second. I think that Julia Gardner, I always say this, I think she's a really good character actor. And this was a good role for her. It's a movie that, it has a bit of a mystery. It's interesting. It didn't bore me. I thought that it was I've seen too many movies in recent years where you could tell that the screenplay was really weak and they're just kind of phoning it in. I feel like in this case, somebody wrote a screenplay and had an idea at least. Now, I'm not saying this is the best movie ever made. I'm saying that this is a solid, it's well made for whatever it's supposed to be. I don't think I'm going to sit there now for years thinking about this movie every second, but I think that I walked out thinking whoever made this knows how to make a movie that he wanted to make. And that's a very rare thing these days. I'm not going to suddenly give it a 97 because it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. I'll give it something that I think reflects what it is. But do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. See, well, I don't know. People are saying. Do we want to take a look at the trailer for a couple minutes here? Just check it out.
Yeah, and
Yeah, here. Let me. I can share that here. Come on. Here we can look at it. Show it on the. Oh yeah. You'll have to switch over for me to share it. Oh no. All right. Well, it's not. I can't show it. So let me look here. What was the description here? Says when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanished on the same night at the exact same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. So as Julia Garner as the lead here. Apparently she's the teacher in the classroom. Josh Brolin is one that's working to try and find the children, but this had a lot of big names in it. I was kind of surprised when I looked at the cast how many different people were actually in the film. With Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Alden Ehrenreich, Justin Long, Benedict Wong, Toby Huss. Yeah, there's quite a few names in here that I recognize as part of this film. So, horror's never really been a genre that I've been particularly interested in. I've seen a few horror films that I've really enjoyed, but this is interesting. I'm glad to know this is a solid film. Like I said, for horror fans, seems like it's been a pretty rough couple of months or rough summer, for horror films. Let's see. Trying to think of horror films that came out this summer. Let's see. What were some of the other horror films that have been? I know there was the remake of I Know What You Did last summer that recently came out. Bryce told us about that one being rather terrible. There was Megan 2.0. That one was also pretty poorly reviewed. 28 years later, also. So 28 years later, some people enjoyed it, others not so much.
Who's Elizabeth Miller?
Elizabeth Miller too. Somebody on
Well,
Rumble.
we like you too, Elizabeth
Hello
Miller.
there, Elizabeth Miller.
So you said you heard that people didn't like it?
Oh no, I was talking about some other films. So yeah, I wasn't able to share the trailer. You didn't switch the.
Oh, sorry about that. I apologize.
That's okay. We can show it real quick.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a minute. I
Yeah,
hope that
that's all right.
you
That's all
told
right.
jokes in the meantime.
Yeah. Oh, I talked about stuff. We talked
What
about.
were they talking about? Megan 2? What was the
Yeah, I
crap?
would say Megan 2 was not particularly well reviewed. I was just
I
talking
saw
about
Megan 2.
the
It was
other horror.
such a disappointing movie,
Yeah.
Megan 2. Because I actually thought that the first one was fun. It was sort of a hybrid between a number of different genres that included comedy, science fiction, a little bit of horror, and overall there was kind of a fun. I don't know if you saw the first Megan movie. I actually surprisingly enjoyed it. I thought this is such a pleasant surprise. And when they had the second one, it was such a letdown, meaning they completely, they completely messed that one up,
Yeah.
that second
Yeah.
Megan movie.
The
But in any
first
case,
one, I didn't see the first one, but a friend of mine saw it. Said he felt like it was a modern take on sort of the Chucky, Child's Play type films. That was how he
but,
kind of summarized it.
but in many
Yeah.
ways, it was actually a little more, I don't know if to say more sophisticated than Chucky. It had some kind of AI thing to it,
Mhm.
and I liked the whole idea of it. I liked how it looked. I liked that it was a low budget movie, but that they made it look so great. I think the first one was like $11 million budget. Looks really good. There's so many things that they did with the first one that I was genuinely impressed with. And as much as I was impressed with the first one, I was the opposite, not impressed with the second one.
Yeah. Here, we can watch this trailer real quick just for me. Nope, don't play it again.
Like I said, though, it's I think that the movie was a very decent movie. It wasn't bad, and I also didn't sit there and thinking every second, oh, like why did they do this and why did they do that, or this is so stupid or whatever. I accepted the movie for what it was, and if somebody managed to get me to buy into whatever this was, I feel like they did a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if I sat and really tried, maybe there's some comments I can make or things like that. But I felt that this wasn't just a filler thing, meaning in order to also do like multiple points of views and kind of move around the perspective of where you're going with the story, that's a recipe for disaster usually. A lot of times when somebody attempts that, it actually goes off the rails, which is what I thought would happen. But at the end of the day, I actually think that this strategy didn't go off the rails. It made the movie feel a little bit even interesting or a little more with substance than your average type of horror movie. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, 97 is a grade that, if you don't have The Godfather, don't even think about it. But is it something that deserves a decent grade? Yes, just not that good.
Yeah. As Adam Gray says in the YouTube chat, it looks better than average, but average is in the basement these days.
Exactly. But you know what? Even I don't give passes for movies if they're just above average. But I also think that this movie, even if it was made 10 years ago, I still think it would be a decent movie.
Yeah.
And the other thing, needless to say, from what I could recall, I didn't feel any kind of lecturing of any kind of any weird stuff, any of that kind of strange Hollywood feeling with all of their modern audience stuff. I didn't feel that. Whereas when I saw that movie, what was it called? Together, I actually did feel that. I saw the movie Together, and I very much felt it. In my opinion, even though Vex Electronica I know doesn't agree with me, I feel like ever since I posted that review that I didn't like that movie, I feel like Vex is no longer my friend, but I didn't like that movie. because I felt that that movie was peddling a Transformers type of narrative, uh, maybe cleverly, but at the end, the way the movie ends gives me a feeling like it was all leading up to something that it was trying to do there at the end, and I just said to myself, eh. Not only that, in that movie with Dave Franco and Alison Brie together, uh, already right out the gate, from the first second, they explain to you that that guy is like a weak beta type of guy, and that she is the big boss of the house, and they lean into that so heavy within the early parts of the movie, and then throughout the movie that it already kind of annoys me to begin with, and when you add the other elements there that I told you at the end, I can't help but feel like maybe they don't go out and physically lecture you in the movie, but man, it's annoying. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe Vex is I'm gonna say a comment now. This is the end. This is the end. Like I feel like I can never recover from this. I don't even know if Vex is listening, but I feel like yeah, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't say it. Should I say it? What should I do? Professor, what do I do?
Just go for it. Come on.
Vex is a woman, so maybe when she sees a movie where they're taking a dump on a man throughout like most of the movie, maybe to her it doesn't mean a lot. But for me, I find it annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my personal opinion. No, I mean, Adam Gray says, I love Vex, but her taste is beyond dubious. You know what? There have been times I think that she liked Nosferatu, the one that came out last year, and I like that movie too. So it's not true. There are times that I actually am on the same page as her. The Together movie, I don't know. She saw something about it that she liked, and she likes horror, and she likes that genre, and maybe it spoke to her more. I had many issues with the movie. The only thing I can say about Together that was pretty good was I thought that Alison Brie and Dave Franco actually were good in their roles, and they're a real life couple, so you could tell that they have a really good kind of chemistry and they're playing off of each other. And I thought that those were the moments that worked. And there were even a few moments that I felt maybe that were improvised, that maybe it had a little bit of humor. And those moments were actually the strongest parts. That you're like, okay, these guys. It's like I think that if those guys did a comedy of sorts, I think that they'd probably do it pretty well. But
Yeah.
instead, this isn't that. This is a movie where they're kind of miserable and that guy's a bum. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But whatever. Weapons, like I said, is it 97? No. Is it 90? No. Is it a good, very, very decent movie? Yes. I will have to think about it more. I'm going to make some kind of review and I'll say what I think about it. But it's not one of those kind of Superman or Fantastic Four situations. This is a genuinely decent movie. They
Ooh.
made it with a budget of $38 million. Um, so it's not like a gazillion dollars, but also for these type of horror movies, I think it's a movie. When I saw it, I said to myself, "This looks like a movie they could have maybe done for like 20 million." I don't know if they. I was trying to think where all the $38 million went because it's not the most fancy production, but at the same time, at least $38 million is something that if it has some good buzz around it, and if it's pretty decently made and it has some people going to see it, you could maybe break even somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Between this and streaming services and everything, which I think it's going to be doing very well on streaming services, they're going to make their money back. I know that today a lot of studios make this mistake. They are like, let's spend $200 million on this movie. Once you're spending $200 million and then another 200 million to promote it, you're not making your money back in most cases, especially today. So if you're making a movie for $38 million between the theatrical run and some kind of streaming deal afterwards, if nothing else, whoever made the movie can break even, can make some kind of money.
Sure.
And I think that that's a business model that maybe people should think about. Look at a movie like F1. F1 is a movie that's not going to make its money back in the theater, but in a way, it doesn't necessarily have to. Basically, Apple just like throwing around money for their streaming service to have like a good movie here and there. I'm not even sure why they do their streaming service. It's almost like an afterthought for them. But once in a while, they'll like dump a few $100 million and just let somebody make a movie. So in this case, they wanted to do this F1 movie with Brad Pitt, but as opposed to the past, they struck a distribution deal with Warner Brothers, and they decided, we'll fund the movie for streaming, but first let's do a proper theatrical release. Cooperation with Warner Brothers, and see how much money we can make at the box office there. And until now, it's made, I think, how much has F1 made at the box office until now?
Oh, let's see. I have the numbers open right now because I was looking at something else. Let's see. F1, the movie looks like it has. Come on, box office. Total gross worldwide is 175. Yeah.
175 for
No,
F1?
sorry, 175 domestic. Sorry, 553 worldwide.
That already makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's good numbers. And then we're gonna have. Sounds like it's getting a re-release. Is it this weekend or next weekend? I think it's next weekend. It's getting a re-release in IMAX.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Your camera is off.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Again,
Yeah.
I'm improving the technology in our studio.
Yes.
I think that in a second, this should. Can you see me again?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, 550 something, and they're going to do an IMAX again. This is sort of a win-win for everybody, because I think that what happened is that I'm trying to think where there was something that I read, like $140 million were already covered or something like that. Maybe it's something that, like, it's a cooperation with Warner Brothers, where Warner Brothers makes the movie, but Apple, because it's going to be on their streaming services or whatever it is, Apple put up like $140 million to fund it. And then in return, they get to show it exclusively on their platform or whatever it is. And it's some kind of partnership. Whatever they did here was smart, because on one hand, we got a really good movie, like a really well-made movie with a real budget, but it looks like it has a big budget. It's like a big Hollywood movie, but at the same time, because of the way they've set it up, it doesn't have to do those billion-dollar numbers. I think that following the success of F1, it's not going to be the last time that we see these type of deals. And maybe if you want to save the movie industry and actually also have some decent movies, maybe that's the only way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Yeah, I was just looking at numbers for some of these for some movies.
Elizabeth Quinn says, just grok the
Yeah.
spoiler plot for Weapons, as I can't do horror. Use myself as to how good it is by how freaked out I am. It looks good. That's what I'm saying. I thought, I'll tell you what I think, because I saw three horror movies recently that people were talking about. One of them was the Together one, which, like I said, it had a lot of parts that dragged, that just felt like they were just kind of filler. It just moved along at a slow pace. I was saying in my review that I knew what was happening throughout the whole movie, and the characters keep trying to figure it out. And somehow in a horror movie, that's not that good. Like, if I can foresee everything, and if I know everything that's going on, and they don't, then it's not suspenseful. That's what I didn't like about the Together movie. Now, the thing with the Pete Davidson movie, which was called The Home, that movie, if there's one thing that I will say it had going for it, it wasted a lot of times. It was too slow. There was a lot of issues I had with it. But the one thing I'll say is that somewhere around the third act, a bunch of twists and turns happens, and I can't say that I 100% saw each of them coming. There was still a situation at the end that they created a spooky kind of strange vibe going on that I didn't foresee, and I thought that it was at least interesting. So, again, on the other hand, Pete Davidson, not my favorite leading man in a movie. Also very slow to get things picked up in that movie. But as opposed to those two movies, which I consider not spectacular scores at all, not even good scores really, I would say that this movie didn't have those mistakes. Meaning, this one felt like a guy that knows how to write a screenplay wrote a screenplay. And I think that's the director. There's a guy now, his name is Zach Cregan. I don't know what his name is. I think that he wrote and directed it. Uh, it
Yeah.
felt like there was a guy that knows how to write and to direct a movie, and he wrote and directed his movie. And it's quite refreshing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not going to get a 97 from me because there aren't many people that can do that now. He's still going to get whatever grade he deserves, but I can't take away from him that if nothing else, when I was watching the movie, I felt that somebody was making it that wasn't a bozo.
Yep.
So it is what it is. What's troubling you, Professor?
No. Just looking at just think about what you were saying. Then that I was looking at because I was now I was on the numbers. So now I was looking at all the different films. Maybe we can talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, no, pull it up so we
yeah,
can look at
here,
those. Let's see what's happening with.
let's hop over to Superman. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Superman. Your favorite topic here. Worldwide box office 561, barely beating out F1. Right, just by a hair.
Right.
And someone was asking about. I was saying the F1 was re-releasing. Yes, F1 actually is still out in theaters. Most theaters are still playing F1, at least on a screen somewhere. At least the bigger multiplexes, anyway. But the F1 is coming back to IMAX theaters, IMAX screens this weekend, and then they're going to expand to even more IMAX screens in the following weekend. So I've actually seen that there's pre-sales out there for the tickets because people really want to go see this in IMAX. There's been really solid word of mouth for this, and I might even have an opportunity to go see it if it does open up again in our IMAX screen here. I might have a chance to go see it. So that would be really cool. It does sound like a really solid film, and but yeah, Superman. That's it's still still playing, but the international box office has been absolutely miserable for this film, and the domestic box office, while pretty good for Warner Brothers compared to some others, not great. If we look at the numbers right now, we look at what it was pulling in week after week. We had domestically, it's only gotten to 322 at this point. It's still obviously still seeing drop offs in the 40% range, week to week. So this Thursday over last Thursday, a 42% drop. It only made in in the last day, it only made $1 million. In the last week, let's see, the first week it pulled in. Oh, you can't see that because it's hidden here.
And the thing is, keep
in the
in
first
mind
week,
that
it made 177 domestically. Then it made 86 domestically. Then it made 37 domestically. It's made less than half of that internationally. And as the weeks drag on, a lot of people forget that technically, yes, they might still be making money in the box office, but the percentage of what they get to keep as a studio continues to drop as well. So, in the early weeks, many studios will negotiate. They get to keep a larger portion of the ticket sales, but then in later weeks, the theaters get to keep larger portions of the ticket sales. And so, not only are they selling fewer tickets, but they're getting to keep less and less of what they do sell.
absolutely. And I think that I was saying in some of my videos that I would be surprised if this movie makes more than, let's say, 600 to 650 million dollars by the end of its run.
Yeah, Yeah, it's still. I mean, it's still going to be able to carry out. We can see kind of the funnel here for the predictions. Where it might end up, and it's definitely starting to tip lower and lower, especially since it started to have to compete with Fantastic Four. But I just, it's drifting off. It's starting to level out. At which point, once that levels out, they're only going to be pulling in, say, 10 million a week, 10 to 12 million a week. And even if it ran for another 10 weeks at that, without any drop, it would still not hit 700.
No, I don't see this. I'm thinking 600. I keep saying it over and over again. I think in a lot of discussions, you and I, from the get go, even before this thing was released, we kept saying something around. I said no higher than 675 at the time. I think you said something similar.
Yeah, I said
Maybe
my prediction when we were talking on Mead was 675. So I think this will break 6. At this point though, I'm wondering if it stops closer to 625, 630.
I think that's a real possibility. I think
Yeah.
that 650 to me right now seems like the highest this thing can go. And that would be a situation, from what I can see now, a really good situation for the movie if it went to 650.
I think that's best possible scenario. This is not getting it. Not without uh pulling a Disney and going to the theaters and just buying up huge amounts of tickets with their marketing budget to push it over the numbers. And I think at this point that would be painfully obvious that they might do that. So no, I think that this movie's definitely petering out. It is not going to make the 700 that everyone thought it was going to do. And once again, let's just say it. We know that all of these studios publish BS budgets. They're always
Bullshit, yeah.
they're always representing their budgets way lower than they actually are. But even if we take them at their word, we say, okay, the budget that you gave us is the real one this time. It's not 50% below what you actually spent, or even 100% below what you actually spent. Let's say the real numbers you gave us were real on what you spent for producing this movie and the marketing. Production and marketing together, what they have admitted to, are approximately 400 million, which would mean they have to break 800 to be profitable in this film. And there's no way in hell that is going to happen. They will be losing money on this movie. I don't care whether you liked it or you didn't. They are going to be losing money on this movie. So that's where it stands, right? It has at the box office. When it comes to dollars and cents, this is a flop. They did not make their budget. They lost money on this picture.
This is absolutely a flop. I think that there were so many weirdos, complaining about my videos. Everything that I've said from day one, I stand behind what I said. First of all, my critique of the movie was not just because I don't like things. That's what people were telling me. You just don't like things. The thing is that I gave Superman not a very good grade, and I didn't give a very good grade to Fantastic Four. Superman, I think I gave it a 60 out of 100, which in the way I score, it's like a D minus. And Fantastic Four got a 55, which is like an F, a high F. And people were like, you just don't like anything. No, it's not true that I don't like anything. I just saw a movie today, that Weapons movie. I have no, it's not that I was dreaming of watching that movie. It's not necessarily that this is a movie that was especially catering to me or anything like that. But when I see a movie that's made well, I can say it's made well. I'll even say something else. I can't believe I did this, but I once gave a passing grade. Do you know to what movie?
Thunderbolts?
No, I gave a passing grade. I actually gave that a passing grade.
Yeah.
I think the Thunderbolts I gave a 67 out of 100. And I said, it's not a great movie. It's stupid. It has a lot of issues with it. And 67 is by no means, it's not a ringing endorsement for me. It's when 60 is a fail and you get 67, it's like there were some things there that I didn't mind, and I sat there and I didn't completely suffer. And I think that was the vibe that you and I talked about after the movie, that considering all the kind of all things considered, it was a movie that we were able to sit through. It wasn't like we walked out thinking that this is the best movie we'd ever seen. We probably have forgot about it 5 minutes later, but there were some moments of fun in it. I don't know. I can't even explain
Yeah.
it.
No, yeah.
Whereas with Superman, and this is another thing that I was saying, Superman, I gave it a passing grade because if it was a Shazam 3 movie, I think it would be a fine Shazam 3 movie. The problem that I have is that Superman needs to be respected as a character, and I feel like the movie doesn't give him that respect. Uh, that's my main issue with Superman, and it's enough for that movie to go from maybe something that could have been in the 70s to a 60, because you have to also understand what character you're bringing to the screen. And that's really my biggest issue with James Gunn. Fantastic Four, with Superman, I could at least say that the casting was good and it didn't bore me, even though it annoyed me. With Fantastic Four, it annoyed me, it bored me, and the casting was bad, which is why, unfortunately, even though some people are like, man, some people I know were like disappointed. Why did you give this one 55 and this one 60? And I said that because, I mean, at least the Superman I was able to sit through was a competently made movie, just it didn't understand the assignment. Fantastic Four didn't even feel that competent to me, aside from the visuals. But I can't give movies good grades just because of visuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
so I don't go out of no, it wasn't the Thunderbolts. What I wanted to say is there was a movie called Blink Twice. I suffered watching this movie. I suffered. I it's not that I just didn't like the movie. I especially didn't like it. I walked out of the theater. I was annoyed. I was annoyed that other people, I didn't even want to go see it, not even to review it. And a few people I was with wanted to see it, and I suffered and saw it. And I walked out, and when I did my review, I gave it a 60 out of 100. The reason why is because it is okay for whatever it's supposed to be. It's just not a movie that I would recommend to anybody to see, and I never want to see it again. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
it I can be fair. I'm not just a dick all the time. Like, I can be fair to all the people listening to the Night Owl. I can be a good guy. Fantastic Four First Steps is, I think, a bigger disaster than Superman. They'll be lucky to get to 500 at this point.
Yes. Yeah. They will be real lucky to get 500. You can see the typical prediction here, the cone over time. They're barely hugging
Barely.
the
They're
bottom
dropping off,
of
yeah.
the potential and right now, they're 382. Their international has been just as poor as Superman's international. It's just not there. And that's what saved a lot of these pictures recently that have done well. F1, uh, the Jurassic World, the new Jurassic World, it's been the international box office that's really managed to sustain it. And so, yeah, we're looking here. They, and amusingly enough, they still pulled in more money than Superman did this last weekend, or this not, uh, and also just day to day. But yeah, they're not doing well at all. I would imagine we are going to see another 55-60% drop in this following weekend. It is not going to be good for this film.
This
And
movie, I
it's
think it
yeah,
has to be a miracle now for this movie to reach 500. I think it ends up in the 400 somewhere.
yeah. It's probably going
500
to
is the top max scenario that I see here.
yeah, yeah. After over if it's, a lot of these films do have long tails because they just keep, racking up a little bit here and there. But I don't see it yeah, doing a whole lot more than what it's done so far. I don't see it suddenly, being uh jumping back into prominence for some reason, right? Unless Pedro Pascal kicks the bucket or something. People want to go see his last film or whatever. I don't know.
Not that we
But
would
no,
wish that. We would never wish that upon anybody, of
no.
course.
I'm
But
saying aside from some strange thing happening outside that would
here at
influence the
Price of
future.
Reason Studios, we would never wish for such a thing to happen, and this was a joke.
Never.
Okay,
And
go on.
so, but yeah, my original prediction for this one was 415, and I'm pretty certain that it is going to beat that, but it's not going to be by much. My updated prediction for this one would probably be somewhere closer to 450. I don't think it's going to hit 5.
No, I think now it's looking 450 is looking more the
Yeah.
direction. If there's a miracle, if maybe I'm not calculating and this next weekend it really surprises me and it continues for weeks somehow in international and whatever, 500 is like the glass ceiling here, and I don't think it gets to 500. But first of all, Adam Gray says, let's not forget near zero merchandise sales is the norm now. Yeah, that is an issue.
Yeah. I haven't been back to Target in the last couple of weeks, but I wonder how many of those dumbass crypto hovering drone things they still have for sale. I saw those and I'm like, nobody's going to buy that damn thing. That's so stupid. This is the dumbest toy I've ever seen. No one's going to buy that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think anybody's going to buy it. Marla Sharendorf says, I haven't been to a movie theater in years. Oh, that's a shame, Marla.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been back to the theater more recently than I expected. I was not planning to go see Naked Gun in the theaters, and then I kept hearing good things. I heard people that I respect, reviewers saying it was worthwhile, and then I just thought, man, well, I'm gonna go give it a shot, and I had a good time in the theaters. So yeah, that was a surprise, and then took my son back to see it because then I told him that I had a fun time, and so he wanted to go see it because he likes the original Naked Gun films. So yeah, I was not expecting to spend as much time in the theater this summer as I have, or to have actually enjoyed some of the things that I saw in the theater either. So
Caleb Levine says, here at Price of Reason Studios, we do not own Pedro voodoo dolls. That's true. We don't own them. But the one thing
I don't. I don't.
I am so thankful that Pedro Pascal had to bail out on this movie that I saw today. I don't know. Sorry. That is the best thing. Already, you know what? If there was one little positive sentiment walking into the theater, is that right before going in, I Googled, and it's like Pedro Pascal was supposed to be a major role in this movie, and then he bailed. And I'm like, yes. At least it gave it already a little bit of a positive vibe of me walking in the theater. It's like the best news I heard all day. But yeah, this Fantastic Four thing is a disaster. What else is going on the chart? Show me what does the chart look like?
We go back to let's see, what else do we have? Let's see. This is the dailies chart, not the previous weekend, but so this is showing some of the new stuff. Sketch, which is an Angel Studios production. So that's a smaller studio, not technically indie, but a smaller studio.
I have to watch that movie. I think that they may have sent me like a screener.
Like a screener for that, yeah.
Yeah, I think they may have sent me something to watch it, but I was so busy and I didn't get a chance, and I kind of feel bad. I would actually like to check out what they did there. I like the fact that Angel Studios is kind of independent and just has smaller budgets and does whatever it does. I like the idea of what they do, and I think a lot of even bigger studios could learn something about the way they interact with their clientele. Now, it could be that their clientele likes certain things that maybe is not for everybody, or maybe it's a very niche crowd. But the idea of thinking, okay, that's my crowd. What do they want to see? How do I make stuff that they want to see? How do I make movies that are of interest to them? And the way they interact and the way they raise money and they work with their own audience is something that I think a lot of people could learn from. It's really, really great when I see how they do that. I'm always constantly impressed. So, and I'm saying this like, I don't care if you're religious or what religion you are, or who you are, or what you do. None of that matters. To me, what matters is that on the business level, I can appreciate what they've done. Like if I now had a platform or some way that I could maybe I had enough people, a large enough following that could crowdfund and we could really produce films together, I think that I would be doing similar things to what they're doing. They also, what they do is, I'll give you an example. In some cases, let's say they had a movie that they thought was interesting. Sometimes maybe they'll film a little sample of it and they'll show it to their people. There's like a screening to, I don't know, their database of 50,000 people that like what they do. They show it to them and then say, hey, do you like this? Is this something that you'd want to see in a full length movie? This short film that we're showing you? Is this like, or a teaser or something? This something that interests you? And then they explain, the general synopsis or something like that. They start raising money, and you could contribute different amounts. And if you contribute, I guess some amounts, you're considered like one of the million producers that are listed in the credits or whatever it is. But that way, they have you could contribute $10 or $100, whatever you want to do. They raise money from people, and then they go and they make the movie. And a lot of times, they make these movies not for like $100 million. There have been movies that they made, most of them for a few $1,000,000, and I appreciate that. There's a lot more people working creatively and really working with these limitations and doing something than what we see in Hollywood. These guys, you see, oh, I spent like $200 million on the production and $200 million on the marketing. Screw you. We could have made 20 good movies with that money.
Yep.
Sorry, Sean.
The reported budget for Sketch
Now it'll be like $100 million.
$3 million.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. These guys are geniuses. These guys know how to run their business. This thing is going to make some money at the box office. Whatever it makes, they're not losing money. Even if, let's say, at the end, this own thing only made like, even if it only made 3, 6, 10, whatever million, even if they didn't cover, then the whole box office run was like 2 million. Between the different streaming options, what they have, they could cover it. But I'm telling you that they're going to cover this budget anyways.
It looks like in previews it's made almost 2 million. So that it's nearly.
It's going to do fine. It's
nearly made its budget.
It is going to do fine. These guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they're good at it. And it's going to do just fine. But and like I said, Hollywood could learn from this. If I now have a studio like that has some money or some way of making movies, this is exactly what I would do. And I'm not talking about religious movies. I'm saying this is what I would do. Not just that some of their movies aren't like that heavy religious. Obviously they're coming from a place that they're a little more religious, but it's not like I've seen some of their movies. It's not like they're sitting and just annoying you every second with a bunch of heavy messaging.
Yeah. They have also done a bunch of historical films. They've made some pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, they do tend to focus more on the family and the religious films, Christian specifically, but they've done some other things as well. And
I mean, they made a movie. Yeah. They made a movie about this nun Cabrini who ended up being a saint or whatever it is. Now, honestly, this is not my wheelhouse. I knew nothing about this. It's not really something that you think speaks to me or doesn't speak to me or whatever. But first of all, that was actually one of the more expensive productions they've ever been involved in.
Yes.
I don't remember now the amount, but I think that one was one of the big productions they've ever been involved in. I don't know if it did well. I don't know if they ever made their money back. I don't know who put up the money or how it worked. But I'll say that it was a very, very nice looking movie. And whether or not you are, religious or what religion you are, what you care about or what you don't care about, I thought that it was a very interesting story that there's this woman who actually lived. This isn't one of those girl boss things. This is a woman who actually lived in history, and at a time where she just thought of this idea that she wanted to open these orphanages all over the world and help children. And I thought that the movie was kind of clever in showing the type of, today when we see the kind of girl boss that she's at the office and trying to show the men like that they're stupid, it's just dumb. But in this movie, they kind of show you that this whole church thing is full of men, and she's trying to sit with the Pope and get him on board to do this thing. And it almost feels like he thinks this is such a half-baked idea, and maybe he doesn't rate her a lot, maybe because she's a woman, I don't know, but he kind of says, well, why don't you go to New York and start there, and if you can do it there, we'll do it in other places. And it almost feels like he just wants her to go away. I don't think anybody expects her to actually succeed in doing it. And she arrives in New York and she like insists on doing all these orphanages and all this stuff, and then like the local government and the mayor and all these people like want to get rid of her and her like efforts and whatever. And I thought that the movie was very interesting. I didn't know anything about this historical character. I thought that it had that element if they want to inspire or send a positive message, but it wasn't just somebody lecturing you about the Bible or something. Do you get what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like I even said, I think I did a review on this for my channel, which I don't know. Again, it's not. Sometimes these movies, I don't know, they're more niche, so I don't know if they're for everybody. But I think on my review on my channel that I did a really long time ago, I said that 20 years ago, if Hollywood made this movie and called it the same thing and had the same exact thing happen in the movie, there would probably be like award ceremonies. Do you get what I'm saying? I think people
Sure.
would be saying, well, this is such a, it would be discussed as a legitimately decent movie that would get these type of awards. But because it's our day and age, and because these guys are angel and they're more Christian, whatever it is, I feel like they just didn't consider this movie anything. Do
Yeah.
you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I know
It
exactly.
even if it even has like John Lithgow playing, I think he's like the mayor of New York or something like that. I thought this movie was pretty well made, and not only that, even though I'm not saying 50 million is money, it's not zero because I think the budget was 50 million. Does it
Yeah,
say how
that's
much
what
the
it
budget?
says below. Yeah, production budget 50 million. Yeah.
That's a very sizable budget, and that's one of the highest budgets that these guys ever, I think, worked with,
Yeah.
Angel Studios. Uh, but I will say that with the $50 million, they made this movie look a lot bigger. I think that it's a period piece, and the way they made all this like old New York look and everything they did, I thought that it looked very nice. It didn't look like a movie that the production budget was 50 million and then it looked like it was $5. I thought that the movie looked very good, but if they could have done it for maybe significantly less, it probably would have helped them.
Oh yeah,
Anyhow,
sure,
that was
sure.
just throwing that out there
Yeah.
and explaining that, they're not, I'm not of their niche. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's not like I get up in the morning and my niche is that like those Angel Studios movies is my niche. I can really appreciate though when people don't have a lot of money, put together a business the way they do and put together movies that are not alienating to people. Hollywood could learn something also by not alienating, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like their movies are more welcoming. If you're watching that Cabrini movie, there's no point that somebody comes out and says something about like you know the usual crap that
Well,
I'm talking
you
about.
don't have somebody coming out and specifically making fun of any particular group or
No, no,
there's not
nothing like that.
characters that are intentionally inserted so that they can discredit some particular point of view or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Just more of a traditional film where it's like it doesn't have it doesn't have an axe to grind with any particular group that it wants to try and make fun of or mock or discredit. And yeah.
oh, Jurassic World Rebirth, that's the one that's doing the best out of these.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, I mean, if you look at the cone here that predicts the traditionally what performance would look like, it's overperformed significantly domestically. But if we look at the worldwide, it's done absolutely fantastic. It's and it's like a lot of people expected if you compared it to the previous Jurassic World films and even the earlier Jurassic Park films. They performed really well internationally. Other countries, viewers in other areas were very interested in watching the Jurassic uh, Park and Jurassic World films. So, yeah, I mean it's now broken 777. It's probably There's a good chance that it could sneak up, given that it has performed very well both domestically and internationally. It's a very good chance it's going to be breaking 800 over the next couple of weeks. So it will be the box office champion for this summer, most likely. Aside from, I believe, what did Lilo and Stitch do?
That did great.
Yeah,
Jurassic World, I think, is going to end with at least 800. I think.
yeah. I think it's going to break 800.
I don't know if it's going to do much more than 800, but listen, 800 is fine for this movie. People say, "Well, the previous one did over $1 billion." You know what? They're milking this franchise as
It's
much as they can.
yeah.
Maybe at some point, like with the Transformers, they see it doesn't make the money they want, they'll stop. But for now, even this 800 million, they'll take it.
Let's see, Lilo and Stitch 2025. Yeah, so it's broken 1 billion worldwide. Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, that might be the box office champion for this summer.
Not only is it the
But
box office champion, ironically, it's a movie that I think Disney quote unquote only spent about $100 million on. I'm sure there was a lot of marketing and a lot of stuff, but this is actually a smart business decision. I think that the movie sort of didn't do justice to the original because I watched the original and then this one. I think that it changed some things around that it didn't need to change. But if nothing else, they cast a very likable girl to play Lilo.
yeah,
And I thought that the Stitch character, however they did it, was kind of likable too. That really helped sell this movie. I thought that they really did well in the casting of the girl and all that. And yeah, it was okay, but it's good for families. Listen, there's nothing you can do. It did whatever it needed to do. It cost lower than those Fantastic Four movies to make, and it made $1 billion. When they're sitting now in Disney, they're probably thinking, "How do we do more of this?" The only trouble is they've raided their pantry so much with all of their classics and all their stuff. I don't even know what more pantry they have to raid. Do you get what I mean?
yeah, yeah. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot left to go to when it comes to that. So yeah, I was wondering if there's a comparison for just this year. Um, you know, these are all like biggest Sundays, Memorial Day weekends. Let's see, top 2025 theater. No, that's number of theaters. I was wondering if there was just a comparison of the biggest ones for 2025 real quick, but I don't see it. Yeah, so man, the yeah,
Lilo,
Jurassic Park.
Lilo, Lilo and
Go ahead.
Stitch saved their summer, basically, or maybe their year, because
Yes.
those Fantastic Four movies and whatever, the Marvel, like, not more Thunderbolts or whatever it is, all lost money, Captain Falcon and all that. But if nothing else, they could show that Lilo and Stitch made a profit and maybe made enough to like clean up the mess of all those other movies. It's still going to be a wash, but at least they could show one thing that actually worked well.
Yes. There's the top 2025 domestic. Doesn't have oh here, top grossing.
I haven't even seen that Minecraft movie. It's
No.
embarrassing that that's the number one. I do
Yeah.
think it's rather embarrassing. But
Yeah,
what can we
there's
do?
our top grossing of 2025 right now. And that's still just domestic though.
And let me tell you, I'm sure that the spinning that's going to be happening behind closed doors, both at Warner Brothers and Disney. When it comes to Warner Brothers, well, they have Minecraft. That for sure is going to be for the investors that they're going to play on that. And they're going to say, listen, Superman, maybe we still have to do some tweaking internationally, and they're going to blame Trump and I don't know what for the tariffs and continue that stupid narrative. And they're going to say, but look, domestic, we did really well with Superman. And what Zaslav is going to tell his board and all those people in order to save face, he's going to say, listen, Superman is the superhero movie that did the most money domestically this year. And what I just told you, Professor, I am sure that there's somebody. I wouldn't. It's in the middle of the night now, so not as we speak. But that's what somebody these days is standing in some boardroom in Warner Brothers and saying. They will hold on to anything they can present as a success. And if this thing doesn't end up doing the 700 million or the 650 million, they're going to go out and play on this. They're going to say, well, the media landscape has changed, but all things considered, Superman was the #1 superhero movie this year. And honestly, because of the domestic,
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to put a lot of qualifiers on it to give it a #1.
well, I mean, what they can do is because Captain Falcon, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four are all going to have a worldwide that's probably lower than Superman's worldwide. Basically, what they'll say is Superman this year was the #1 superhero movie in the world. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, "Yep, the media landscape is changing. We had a big hit with Minecraft, and Superman is something that we're launching now, and we're still adjusting that. But we're comforted by the fact that it's the #1 superhero movie of 2025." That's what David Zaslav going to sit there and tell his investors and his board and whatever it is, and they're going to run with that. Behind closed doors, somewhere, even maybe to himself, David Zaslav thinks to himself, how did this not make $1 billion? Because that's what he really wanted. But
yeah. But if you look at the worldwide numbers, man, geez. So we knew about Neja 2, animated film, Chinese, just dominated the box office over there.
The truth is, though, I don't fully trust them. How do we know? Like, I know this sounds shitty, but with like the Chinese reporting, oh, we looked at our box office and it's $1 billion. I never even know if that's true or not.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But if we do look at others, Lilo and Stitch coming in worldwide box office, breaking $1 billion. Minecraft coming in just worldwide, coming in just a little bit below it. Domestically, it's coming in just a little bit higher than Lilo and Stitch. But below that, we had Jurassic World right now at 777. How to Train Your Dragon 620. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, which was admitted by a lot of people to have been a pretty big disappointment at the box office this year. Still finishing in 6th place with Superman still behind that at 561. Now, will it get ahead of that?
It could get ahead of that.
Possibly. Yeah. I think it probably will. I don't know if it'll catch up or beat How to Train Your Dragon, though. I don't know. I don't think it's got a chance of catching up to Jurassic World Rebirth.
It's not. I don't think it can beat Jurassic World Rebirth. How to Train Your Dragon, Mission Impossible, and How to Train Your Dragon are at least candidates that it could beat.
Yeah,
but that's the most it'll get. And yeah, they're going to say, well, it's the #5 movie in the world, but at the same time, Snow White is the 15th movie in the world.
Yeah, Snow White.
And also,
oh man, how bad does Snow White defeated by Final Destination Bloodlines? a horror, horror franchise that is just on its last legs at this point. But then, yeah, we had Sinners, Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four still not having quite caught up to Thunderbolts worldwide. It will top Thunderbolts worldwide. But the Captain America Brave New World, embarrassing that Thunderbolts, so well reviewed, never caught up to Captain America Brave New World, which was awful. Absolutely an awful film. So yeah, that's the worldwide numbers.
The thing is that Captain America was still, even though Chris Evans wasn't in the movie, between somebody knowing what that character is, maybe some people recognizing Anthony Mackie from those Avenger movies, people knowing who Harrison Ford is, there was a Red Hulk, which some people like Hulks, and between all of that, they somehow were suckered into seeing Captain America Brave New World just because of that. But there were a few problems. First of all, after that movie, I think they lost a lot of goodwill from people. Usually when there's a good movie and everybody's excited, the next movie still has a chance of making a few dollars. But if it's a movie that everybody thinks is a stinker, like Captain Falcon, then the next movie, which would have been the Thunderbolts, I don't think it would have done great to begin with, but certainly there was no goodwill there.
None at all.
It
None
was
at
a
all.
better movie. Thunderbolts was a better movie than Captain Falcon. I'm not going to lie to you. Thunderbolts was a not so good movie that, you know, it's a lower tier Marvel movie, but it's one that is at least watchable. At least in my opinion. And yes, I am not afraid to say that I thought that Thunderbolts was a better movie than Fantastic Four First Steps. Because there's a few reasons. And I will say that I thought that, I'm trying to think for a second. Thunderbolts, for me, in a way, it's complicated with a Superman, but at least when it comes to, I don't know what to say, if understanding the assignment or exactly what I'm looking to say, I think the Thunderbolts knew what it was and did what it needed to do better than Superman and Fantastic Four. And I'll tell you why. Superman technically is a better movie than Thunderbolts, but like I said, I can't let it slide that you're doing a Superman movie and you're not treating him like Superman, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To make it some quirky thing based on James Gunn's stupid crap, that to me doesn't work. If the movie wasn't a Superman movie, I would say that James Gunn's movie would have gotten a higher score. Also, not his best movie, but it would have gotten a higher score. But when it comes to understanding the assignment, Thunderbolts, I think I gave a 67. Superman, I gave a 60. And Fantastic Four, I gave a 55. And I 100% feel comfortable with that. The thing is also, Thunderbolts didn't have a lot of responsibility. It was a 2-bit movie with 2-bit characters that nobody gives a shit about. Sorry, Sean. And it can only surprise you that maybe it'll be mildly enjoyable. And I think that that's what happened. Came with no expectations, didn't give a shit about it, but it was watchable. Fantastic Four and Superman, I have expectations. That has to be something where you recognize that these are iconic characters and you got to do some justice here. You can't just throw something on screen and hope that it sticks.
Yep. This, yeah. There's been so many disappointments this summer. Fantastic Four, Superman, even Thunderbolts. I was a little disappointed in. Yeah, yeah. It's the #1 DC movie of the year.
Right, it's the #1 DC movie of the
Well,
year.
right now they can say it's the #1, film in the box office or whatever. Because Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch are no longer in theaters. But yeah,
Again, I'm not suggesting that Thunderbolts is genuinely a good movie. Something that I give in the 60s, it's like in the Ds, you know what I mean? I want to clarify that it's not necessarily a good movie, but sometimes you have movies, I want to try to think like the DC equivalent. Like Shazam 3 is a stupid movie. Not Shazam 3, Shazam 2 is a stupid movie. But it was okay. I could watch it. It's not a ringing endorsement again, but it's passable as a stupid, not so good movie, but it's not bad enough where I can call it unwatchable or anything like that. It's just not especially good. Even Black Adam, which I think was less than Shazam 2, Black Adam was mildly watchable. Although that one I don't know. That one I wonder what grade I would give it. I didn't actually do a review for Black Adam or Shazam 2 when they were around. Have you seen those, Professor?
I did not see Black Adam, no.
You know, Black Adam, it's not the worst movie again that I've ever seen, but I don't have anything particularly good to say about it either. It's just the ultimate very mediocre, poor to mediocre. I would say that like Black Adam, if I was generous, maybe I'd give it a 60 out of 100, like a D-. And then Shazam 2, I would give maybe like a 65 out of 100, which is a D.
I didn't hear anything good about either of those, and so I passed up on them. I was never a big fan of the Snyderverse to begin with, and so I did. So I did watch The Flash just because I had heard it was such a disaster, and so I did watch that once it hit streaming, and then later on I did watch both because I saw the first Aquaman and I didn't hate it. I thought it was all right. So I gave the second one a shot, and again, it was all right. Like
I think
I didn't like it, and I didn't hate it. Uh, to be honest, if you asked me any of the details of either of them, I probably couldn't really
no, all
recall.
those movies are forgettable. They're all in
Yeah,
the D's for
it's
me.
yeah, it was pretty forgettable. I mean, I didn't hate myself for having watched either of the Aquaman films, but
No,
then
they
I
were
then I didn't
D-level.
I don't really remember what I watched.
They were D-level movies. The only reason that Fantastic Four: First Steps didn't get a D range for me, like all those other ones we just talked about, is because the casting was bad and it bored me, and I couldn't get over it.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you at minimum don't have some cast members that draw you into the thing, and you know what's kind of strange? Uh, I don't think she would have been right for. I don't even know if she would be right for any role in this movie. This actress, Julia Garner. But I will say that Julia Garner, which I don't think she was right for this stupid Silver Surfer. We didn't need to see the female Silver Surfer. I don't think she was right for that. But in this movie, this weapons movie that I saw today, she shows again what I usually say about her. I think she's a really, really solid character actress. It's like she doesn't have the look of like a Sydney Sweeney. She's not one of those type of stars. But if you're looking for solid acting, I think that knows how to do that. I don't think I've seen her ever in anything that I thought to myself, man, this lady can't act. I never thought that about her. Anytime I see her in something, I think to myself, except for Fantastic Four, it's not her fault. I mean, I can't blame her for that stupid movie, okay?
Mhm.
But anything else, I think she puts in a good performance, and I think she puts in a good performance in this weapons movie, especially since the first 30 minutes heavily rely on her acting. And if her acting wasn't good, if she wasn't a good like character actress the way she is, I think that you'd lose the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she
Yes.
looks like a Sue Storm, so I wouldn't cast her as Sue Storm.
Mm-mm.
But if you forced me, even though I don't think she looks the part, and I wouldn't cast her in that role ever, but if you forced me between Vanessa Kirby and between Julia Garner as Sue Storm, I'd take Julia Garner because there's something about Vanessa Kirby that annoyed me. I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain to you why Vanessa Kirby annoys me. I feel bad that I think this. I feel guilty that she annoys me, Professor.
Well, I certainly didn't enjoy her performance in that film. I thought she was one of the weakest parts of the film. A lot of people seemed to like her, and they liked. They said there was chemistry between her and Pedro. I don't get what they're talking about.
There's zero
I
chemistry.
did not think that either of them were particularly convincing or interesting as characters in the film, and they did not have chemistry at all. Every time they were on screen together and like touching each other, just like ew, no thanks.
By the way, Karate Werewolf has been a member of Leapers for 2 months. I just saw this pop up. I don't know exactly. I guess I don't know how long ago this popped up on the
It was
feed.
it was a little bit ago, but that's it was just saying yeah, member for 2 months. Thanks for being a member, Karate Werewolf. We appreciate it.
And
Yeah, I don't think we have any other
okay. Yeah, hold on. So this
super chats or anything like that.
okay. So Karate Werewolf, member 2 months, member for 2 months. Leapers. Tip of the hat to you, sir, with a great
Mm,
name. And now we're back to our box
yeah,
office discussion. At the end of the day, this is a very kind of measly year for the box office.
it is. It's not a great year for Hollywood.
Do you know that
Not a great summer.
I saw Dogman? Do you know that I saw that movie?
Oh, you did?
You
My
know why?
my kids had talked about wanting to see it, and then they the more they talked about it, they're like, "Yeah, Nah, maybe we'll just wait for streaming.
It was I'll tell you what, I think that what I did is that one day I went to see another movie. I don't remember which movie that was. And I was already in the movie theater, and I have like a monthly pass. And I said to myself, why don't I quickly just, I think you have a number of movies you could see like a week. And honestly, I don't know that there's enough movies coming out a month. Like you could basically just see whatever movie you want. And I was already there, and I don't remember what reasoning I had. Maybe I thought of buying myself something to eat. Like I was really hungry, and I thought
Mhm.
to myself, well, I could buy myself like one of those pretzel things that you dip or something, or I don't know what it is that I got, and I'll sit and eat it. But if I already got the pretzel, what's like some movie that isn't long and I haven't seen it, and it just said like Dog Man. I didn't even know what it was. Okay, I thought that this was something more sophisticated. I just kind of went in there and I watched it, and it was the dumbest, crappiest, stupidest thing I had ever seen. It was an animated movie, and I think that Pete Davidson was the doing the voice or voices
Was
already.
it? Oh, jeez.
Already, I think not a good sign, but it had something that apparently there was a police officer and a dog, and I think like they exploded, and maybe the police officer dies, and they sew the dog's head to the police officer's body, so it's called Dogman.
Mhm.
I almost feel like this is some surreal dream that I even sat and watched this, but I feel like that's what the movie was about.
Yes. Well, okay, so it's a series of children's books, called Dogman, and it's made by the same author who made the Captain Underpants series of books. That was Captain Underpants was a film that came out a few years ago. Essentially from the same creators as those who made Dogman. But yeah, it's really funny that you're like, it's a dead police officer with a dog's head sewn on it, because my children were trying to explain the concept of this book to my wife, and she's like, "That's really creepy. Why would you want to read a book about a dead guy with a dog's head that got sewn on?"
That's the thing that I was looking at it, and I'm like, I'm trying to find the charm in it, but I already went past. I accepted that this was a stupid premise, and then I watched it, and I think that was it this movie that there was a dog. Uh, there was another dog that wanted to be friends with this dog or something. Man, I struggle to remember what I was looking at. It was like an ADHD celebration.
Oh
So
yeah,
much
no
like
doubt.
flashing crap at like a very fast flashing of nonsense all across the board. I understand, it's for kids. I get it, but I still I feel like I am a kid at heart, and if there's something that's fun for kids, I could still appreciate it, especially if I'm trying to review it or something. I think I didn't even bother reviewing this. I'm just like, nah, I'm okay. I'll just I figured I don't need to ever.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I'm good. I think that I didn't even want to tell anybody. Maybe I told you that I went to it. I don't know, but it's not something that I heavily talked about. I'm just like, maybe don't tell anybody that you watched this stupid movie because I was kind of embarrassed.
Oh
But
well.
here at the Night Owl, I am sure nobody's going to tell anybody. All the people listening now can keep a secret.
Elizabeth Quinn.
Caleb Levine, the way Price described Dogman makes it sound better than any other movies you've talked about tonight so far. Uh,
Elizabeth Quinn's right above that too.
Thank God my children's librarian grandmother is dead. Dogman would have given her a stroke. I just don't understand it. It was just so weird. But even after that, there was something where Pete Davidson kept getting fooled by somebody, or Pete Davidson was the father of this dog, and he wanted his money or something. It is. I struggle. I really, really struggle.
Yeah,
Oh well.
it did not do particularly well in the theaters, even for a kids movie.
How
It
much
was
was invested? Can you click on Dogman? I'm curious what the budget was and how much it made.
so worldwide 145.5, and it looks like production was 40. So it made its money back.
It wasn't a loss for them, and probably this is
Yeah,
exactly the type of thing that they can make money on streaming afterwards. So,
yeah.
and maybe even somebody would buy merchandising for this, even though I know Adam Gray said there's no merchandising. But this, if it's young enough kids and they're showing them this stupid dog that's a police officer,
It's
maybe
a
somebody.
Yeah, it's a DreamWorks thing. Doesn't DreamWorks like have a deal with Netflix?
They probably do. All my thumb said I must see Dogman. I accidentally now like did publicity for Dogman.
So there was the previous Captain Underpants. It actually did better than the Captain Underpants, which I thought did better in theaters. But yeah, Dogman did even better.
Both of them had the same type of budget, but like I
Yeah,
said,
inflation adjusted though. Given this was 2017, probably pretty close.
it's
Yeah,
pretty close.
and their budgets were pretty close. Yeah, I'd say it performed
This is
about the
th-
same.
this is set up by people that know how to make money. They're making money
Yeah,
here because first of all, it doesn't lose money in the theater. It even makes a few dollars. Then between the merchandising, which I think exists for stuff like this, and at the same time the streaming deal, they walk away with some money. And it's the type of thing that for years now you could show it to kids. It's not like movies for adults, maybe something is hot 1 minute, but it doesn't mean that a few years later it's still something you can show your kids. There's some stuff that you could still show young kids for a number of years. Do you get what I'm saying?
sure. Yeah, yep.
I had a dog, Elizabeth Miller, too, says I had a dog named Secret. Such a sweet golden retriever she was. Well, you know what? I want to try to find something. I saw something this week, Professor. I don't know if a lot of people have watched it, but I couldn't help but enjoy it. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. You can tell some jokes. Give me 1 second. Let me see what am I looking for? Where do I find it? Playlists. Maybe I
Phantom Outsider's really curious as to who keeps hiring Pete Davidson.
man, I don't know what to tell you.
I have no clue. I I don't know why anyone would hire him for anything. He's so weird. I mean, it's like he keeps getting hired, but I mean, we chased Ezra Miller out of the business apparently, but we still got Pete Davidson.
How do I find, that thing where you have, watch later. Let's see if I found this. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Because somebody mentioned dog. I really like this, okay?
Oh, yep.
Did I share it?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see if I can share it now. This is for you, Elizabeth Miller number 2. I wonder who Elizabeth Miller number 1 is, but you'll always be number 1 to me, Elizabeth Miller
Nope.
number 2.
Still not shared, Bryce. I think.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm on top of it, Professor.
There we go.
Okay. So I thought that this was rather charming. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Let's see. I want to make sure I get all of it. I think this is most of it. I don't know why I like this. Because they're so well behaved.
Yes.
And when they're eating, they're so serious about eating that food. This is something that somebody shared. I don't know what it was. But in any case, I thought that was a good video of dogs. I enjoyed it.
Dog videos is what people come to the Night Owl for. To see the best in the internet dog videos.
There's one other thing, and I'll show you this one.
Snoopy K.
Picky little bastard.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah, Karate Werewolf says that triggered both my dogs. Now I have to cook for them.
Yeah, I didn't know, but that monkey seemed almost like a I don't know if to say almost human, but you know the way the monkey was looking at him and analyzing the situation, couldn't help but being impressed by that monkey, Professor.
Yes, very very talented.
Is it a monkey or is that something else? Is it
or an ape? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure what species of that was. Probably an ape, not a monkey. I'm guessing, but
I'll tell you the truth. I never know the difference. I don't know anything. I know that you show me an ape, a chimpanzee, a monkey. Probably can't tell you which is which.
Yeah. Monkeys have prehensile tails, where apes do not.
I see.
Believe that's the major distinction, but I could be wrong.
And by the way, for our final story, maybe you know something about this whole Nintendo charity thing. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, I did. Yes, I did read a little bit about that. Here, let's see. I think I had a story pulled up that I could share real quick, kind of explaining what was going on. Surf through my tabs here. Yes. Okay. You get too many tabs open, and then all they have is favicons. That's all you can see. Makes it harder. All right, let me see if I can share this. All right, so yeah, they Nintendo had a little bit of a beef with a charity speed running event that happens in Japan. So this speed running event, RTA Summer, that was their 2005 event. It's a speed running marathon. Takes place between it says it took place between August 9th and the 15th. And it had a big lineup of games, included a bunch of stuff: Cuphead, Silent Hill 2, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and a bunch of other popular titles. However, there were no Nintendo games that were featured, according to another site, Automaton. There was no official explanation that happened at the time. However, now the event organizers have shed some light on the situation, revealing that the exclusion of Nintendo titles was due to them being warned by Nintendo. So Nintendo actually contacted them and said, "Hey, you're not allowed to use our games. So on their website, they explained that they were contacted by Nintendo and were told that as a legal entity, they would have to ask for permission in advance to feature their games at their event. So the charity event, oh, well, guess what? You have to specifically come and get permission to use our games in your event. Okay. Nintendo also stated that all previous streams featuring their games constitute unauthorized use. So just streaming the games for their charity event, unauthorized. Great. Thanks, Nintendo. Given that RTA hopes to stream Nintendo games at future events, the organizers have decided to comply with the permission requests and have begun negotiating with the company. Because of this, however, they explain that the game application guidelines and requirements are expected to change. For now, fans shouldn't expect to see games like Mario or Legend of Zelda in their upcoming event. So yeah, they slapped down a charity event saying no, you can't play our games in your charity event, include them in your charity event, because you have to get special permission from us to use them. And this just goes even further than some of, recently there's been a lot of these game publishers have been jumping on streamers for featuring their games, saying, oh, you don't get to use our game for your stream. You don't get to use our game, for whatever purpose, because you haven't specifically gotten permission from us, and then forcing streamers to take down streams because they played their game and made money on it, and then didn't give Nintendo any of the money. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Nintendo has gotten so greedy lately. It's really really disturbing because
Sounds very petty, very petty.
Nintendo used to be, I mean, they were the gamers, games. They were the company that understood the purity and the fun of gaming, and they loved their players, and they made really solid, fun, even family friendly titles that people would love to play. And they had solid hardware, not the most advanced hardware, but solid hardware that they would support well for years. And it just seems like just one year after another, they just keep getting worse. And of course, they've taken a lot of flack for the way that they've been treating players with the new Nintendo Switch, and the way that they've most recently, been raising prices and making their rights even more restrictive, as they add more and more features, but then make you pay for more and more features as they continue to make their games cost even more. It's just it's gotten so ridiculous, man. It's gotten so ridiculous. How
It's too bad. I mean, I
yeah.
grew up on Nintendo as well, so it's
Yeah.
not even a situation that's foreign to me. Nintendo were always, like you said, the fun brand. This sounds so petty and so not fun, what you're describing.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not chill, like, at all, right? There, you would think Nintendo would be like, "Yeah, hey, play our game. Let people know how fun our game is."
Right.
But, nope, no, you can't show our game. You can't include our game in your charity event because you're making money off of us, and we don't get to share in that money or something. Oh, it's just yeah. Petty is a great way to put it, Bryce.
That's how I feel. It sounds
That is a
awfully petty.
great way to put it. So, yeah, I think that's about all we got for tonight, Price. You got anything else?
No, I don't think so. We looked at a monkey eating and dogs eating, Professor.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we did. Got all of that in there.
I guess we can just say our goodbyes.
Say good night to everybody, and yeah, okay. So, we had over on Rumble, we had a few people join us tonight. Not a big audience over there, not in the chat anyway. But we did have Almithom, who said that it was their first time joining us live. So great to have you.
I think to be fair, we did have like an okay audience. It's just that
Yeah.
not everybody is in the chat.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. I mean, we had people over there, just not a lot in the chat. Almy Thom, Reach M842, Phantom Monk, Elizabeth Miller 2, Dude Bro, Seth 420, and Elizabeth Quince. I think was everybody that we saw over there on Rumble. Don't think I missed anyone
With
there.
Rumble, some people go to an app and they just press something and they're not even signed up and things like that. That's why I always tell people that if you're listening through the app and you sign up, it's free, and then you can follow us, and that really it helps us. It's good for you, and it's a good platform to be signed up to for free. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Then we also had over on YouTube FKHC 2005, Jim Noxious, Karate Werewolf, Murr Rockstro, Mary White, Ron Donafero, Matthew McGee, Zunar J5, Michelle Ferry, Yitus, Davion Donaldson, Pete Roble, Tomahawk 511, Marla Sherendolf, Kenny Long, Jonathan Conroy, Bayona Rad, Alexander Tan, Rodnod Skubla, Bishop Judas, K. Roberts, Phantom Monk, Tim Hayes, Istophobos, The Dead Man, Stephen Mack, Sheriff Brackett, I Have New Dick, Caleb Levine, Adam Gray, Mark S47, Granola Grin, Piku, E. Clay Thomason, Keely Chow, Superior Nav, Darren M., Jason Webster, and Phantom Outsider. So I think I got everybody in there, but if we missed someone, sorry about that. And as always, thank you to those of you maybe who just are, just hanging out, listening to the stream, maybe not in the chat, but still listening in or listening, watching after the fact. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We do have some nice people doing like the replay gang, and we always appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you. And yeah, this week we have this thing with Adam Gray and all this stuff.
Yes, Adam needs to make sure to throw some of those links in the
I
chat real
think he
quick.
did throughout the chat, but
Yep.
definitely this week it's the 100th episode, and you guys should join us because we're both Professor and I are going to be. Well, Professor is always there, but I'm going to be there too, and it's going to be a really fun celebration. So everybody should join us.
100th show for B-sides over on B-roll stage, and you can find B-roll stage on both YouTube and Rumble at least for the meantime. It's on both. But well, I'm sure Adam will have some things to say about that tomorrow. But yeah, you over on both YouTube and on Rumble, you can find those. And we'll be watching. What will we be watching again? Price? Do you remember? It's going to be. Is it The Thing with Two Heads? Is that the name of the film?
I don't remember. I trust you.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's yes, The Thing with Two Heads. So that is. Oh boy.
That sounds like an experience. By the way, Marla Sherendorf, this was
Yeah.
fun. Yes, it was fun seeing you here. Also, nice to get to know you, Elizabeth Miller, too. Elizabeth Quincy, all next week. Great to see you here also. Stay safe and cool. Jason Webster, the Price, Professor, our two moderators, and everyone in chat. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Yes. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. We enjoy these late night sessions that we're all kind of hanging out. And it's really I love the way this community kind of is building, and in its own way and at its own pace. But it's really great to hang out with you guys every time, and then each time there's maybe another person that kind of joins us or gets to know the stream and hangs out with us, and I just really enjoy it. So I'm very thankful, even though maybe I don't say it every second, but very thankful to you all, and it's really fun hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, I can. I'm sharing the link here again. There's the link to their Rumble channel, and that'll be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be watching, yeah, like I said, watching The Thing with Two Heads, the 1972 blaxploitation film, has Ray Milland and Rosie Greer, science fiction comedy. It's going to be a great time watching that tomorrow night. Along with other things, we'll also sometimes we'll play some games afterwards. So yeah, we'll see. But if you want to join us, that would be great.
Absolutely. You should totally do it. And yeah, I think we've covered everything. We discussed everything, and now we can be on our way.
All right. Well, it was great talking with you tonight, Price. I hope everyone has a good evening.
Bye.